I can't afford the.
I was using you as an example.
If my favorite team was the team in which I lived in their city,
your favorite team is Tampa Bay.
No, right? I am not a bandwagoner. I wish Tom Brady all the luck, but I'm a Patriots fan, and I accept that the next few years we're gonna be like the fucking Cowboys. I get it, but hey, we still have the greatest coach ever, and that's all that fucking matters. But no, if I was a fan of the Ravens, obviously live in Baltimore.
Will Belichick shows up in Tampa.
When Will Belichick shows up in Tampa, I'm jumping ship. I'm gonna be honest.
Your description of your new job just made it sound like that's what you do.
Sex is easy, bro. Sex is dumb easy. You just bend over and take.
COVID hasn't got you down yet?
I couldn't give a fuck about COVID. I drink.
It doesn't have you down yet? It doesn't give you anxiety. What?
Look, man.
What?
I'll tell you what, man. Like the second the second I don't have to, and when I say have to, I mean, in order for me to get into an establishment, I have to wear a mask.
You have to wear everywhere you go.
As soon as I don't see those signs anymore, I'm ripping the fucking thing off.
Me too.
I'm sorry. Call it what it is. Comment whatever. Fuck you. You're an idiot. Like, you're just a fucking idiot. You think you gotta? Especially like the people that wear them either when they're just walking outside in the fucking like nature, or they're in their own cars with their windows rolled up.
Right.
Or you gonna give yourself fucking coronavirus?
But don't you think that that's something with them, like helping them cope with all this news that they're seeing and all this stuff?
I don't care what they got to cope with. Get on a boat and go somewhere. Like, go get to your own
But where are they
island.
going to go?
Their own little COVID.
Quarantine themselves away from the population.
Their own little paranoid COVID.
So are you in the sense of like, so do you not want to spread it, or are you just annoyed by the people who are taking it too seriously?
I'm not 100% sure that there's even anything to spread. Just being honest.
You might get us kicked off YouTube talking like that.
So
I'm going to post it, though. I'm going to post it.
We probably will get kicked off, because why? Why would we get kicked off? Because
they kick people off.
Because that's not the narrative. Fuck off. I hate it. And then those people, you're going to trigger my anxiety. You're going to trigger my trigger, bitch. Like,
oh, Jimmy jumped on it. Well, you know.
Other than dealing with these, I'm sorry.
Have you had anyone? Have you had anybody like tell you to put your mask on when you're like walking up? Do you put your mask on in the car and then walk up, or do you like
I do it,
wait until you get there and then you put it on?
I do it as soon as I enter the
facility.
Like,
if they can kick you out, I'm gonna where you have to do it.
I'll swing the door open. It's still hanging off one ear. Because I'll put it on one ear and I'll swing the door open before I walk in. I'll put the fucking.
But where do you think? Where do you think there should be a line? Because obviously,
I'm not gonna challenge. I'm not gonna be that guy. That's like, I'm gonna test it and not wear it until somebody says something.
Right.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
But you're being.
I'll do it because I know that those are the rules, right? I'll do it.
Right. But you're at least being reasonable. You're meeting them in the middle with it. You're I don't like it.
Second Larry Hogan's fat ass comes out there and goes, you don't have to wear it anymore. Fuck, I'm burning it.
Right.
Like, I have no reason to wear it.
Right.
As soon as it's not required by law, because you're still going to have those people that are going to be like, well, no, I wouldn't. It's still not safe. You still got to wear a mask. Eat my shit.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at on that. I don't know about you, but that's where I'm at. That's just my opinion.
I guess they're like, I'm gonna go around this fucking guy. So he starts going around me, hits my fucking mirror, and I'm like, well, he's gonna stop. I had never been more wrong in my fucking life.
He didn't stop.
Stop. It was almost as if he was like, fuck that nigga's mirror. And he just kept going. And I'm like, hold up. But there's cars up there. He can't get through those cars. Again, I've never been more wrong in my fucking life. I was like, how these fucking cars get between all those cars? And I was like, you're not going to stop? Well, I'm going to go, nigga. So I started chasing the motherfucker in my car. And like, I guess he realizes I'm fucking following him. And he's just like, he doesn't want to be caught. So he's fucking, dang. dipping through fucking streets, and I'm like, I'm following them, and I almost crashed at one point, hitting this really tight turn. But we get to Hanover Street.
Bob was seeing red.
Before the bridge. Yes,
He took your mirror and he kept going.
We're gonna get to that. But yes, I am blood is all I see. I want this person dead. Like, so we're driving, and I'm like, I can't fucking get his fucking tag or whatever. Like, I'm trying to take a picture of it. I'm trying to drive at like probably 80 miles an hour on a fucking 25 mile an hour street. So I'm like, I'm about to do some GTA shit. So his car's here on the right. I pull up to the left of it. I fucking tap his shit. I try to tap his shit. His back to like get it up to
GTA.
I tried to do this shit, bro. I tried to do this shit. But I guess he was used to that GTA shit, and he stopped just before I hit him. So my shit was like skirt, and my shit hit the guardrail like boom, and my shit I was like fuck, and they just drove off, and I was like motherfucker. So I get out the car.
He beat him.
I get out the car and I'm like, ain't this some shit? And like I see like fluid and shit. I see my car crumpled into the guardrail. At this time I don't know what's what.
Literally
but I've been
crumpled.
like, let me get the fuck out of the car because I see the fluid. Call the cops. Cops eventually show up. Didn't take them too long because the police station's right down the street. But yeah, we're going through all this shit. Hold on, we're gonna get to that shit. We're going through all this shit. And I'm like, I wasn't drinking. Of course I didn't tell him everything that just fucking happened.
Right.
I was like, yeah, somebody hit me. And whatever. I didn't tell him everything.
You were officer. You were watching police do that on cops. Here's Bob Hollywood's going to attempt the pit maneuver.
He saw that shit on cops too. He was like, not today, nigga.
That guy was smart enough.
That's brilliant, man.
So we're sitting there talking
All you
to
had to do was hit your. I didn't know that.
Apparently.
I wouldn't know
Apparently.
that. I would have tried to do the
Let me
same
see the
thing.
cops pulling the pit maneuver, bitch.
So now you know. He actually helped you out.
But while we're there, while I'm talking to the officer, this car comes up, like a different car. And like, these people get out the car. And I'm at my car, the officer's at his car is like a few, I can't hear what they're saying necessarily. And then they get in their car and they leave. And the officer's like, you sure you weren't drinking? And I'm like, yeah, I was working all night. Of course I wasn't drinking. And he's like, well, they just told me such and such. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck they were. Like, nobody was here. So I'm assuming that was the niggas that pulled that reverse pit maneuver, hopped in a different car, and they were like, yeah, this nigga was wilding. Like,
Or maybe it was somebody that saw him.
Well, if you had seen the whole thing,
So
the
they-
officer probably would have said something completely different.
so
Like,
they-
oh, you want to be a cop, nigga? Well, you're going to jail today.
I trust her. That's the biggest part. That's the biggest part of friendship. Trust.
It's like you say my balls were too big like the first year, but in the end, your pussy was too fat in the second year.
Oh my God!
Hold up.
Oh
Hold
my
up.
God!
Whilst I do not have a pussy, that sounds like a compliment. Like, who doesn't like a fat pussy? Like, I don't want it to be, oh, your pussy. If she would have said your pussy was too thin, I'd have been like, fuck, man, you fucking cutting deep. I will say it. Yes, she told the truth. It was probably 15 fucking minutes, but it's because she would give me a shot, and I'm thinking that she's taking a shot too. Right. And it was like maybe 3 shots later that she's like, I don't really want this shot. Why don't you have my shot too? That she poured, mind you. And I'm like, well, why is your shot is halfway and mine's full? And she's like, I just changed my mind on this one. So I take the shots, and I'm like, okay, it's 2 shots. I'm not going to let them get wasted. But then she's like, do you want another one? And I think at that point, I was too far gone to be like, no, I don't want any more. Please, no more, sir. I was like, yeah, give me another shot. And she just kept giving them to me. So you're talking about that first year you woke up in the field? That second year, I'm out in the fucking field. I don't even know how I got there. I do not remember leaving out that house.
I was there for you. I watched you. I took care of you, and you just was flopping around, and I couldn't hold you.
He was flopping around.
I couldn't.
I couldn't.
I did everything
You're
I
a big
could.
boy, Bob.
No, but
Boy.
no. Before you can say anything else, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this with you. You no.
Oh, Dreama, it's all right. Dreama. Dreama, though. Are you
Let her
serious?
leave. Let
Are
her
you
leave.
serious? Is she serious?
This pussy was too fat and juicy for her. Let her leave.
Damn.
All I'm saying is,
Did you put that?
I don't know if she.
I'm watching YouTube.
Fuck
You
her.
put
Let
that
her
on
leave.
Facebook,
No,
though.
that's
Top
We're
10.
on Facebook and YouTube.
Nice.
Oh, here we go.
Hello. Hi.
What's going on, y'all? How's it going? We are here.
Welcome
It
back
is-
to Spitting Games. Spitting
Tell 'em how it
Games
is, Rick. Tell 'em how it
radio.
is.
This is our 5th episode.
Number
And
5.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We didn't have one last week. Kind of took a week off. But now we're back. And there's not been too much going on in the world of video games. Really, we're just counting down to when the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X launch.
Yes, Jimmy, you're in the frame. Do you need a better pillow?
You okay?
Huh?
What's wrong? Do you need a better pillow or something?
I'm good, man. This ain't my show. This is all about Rick and his video games.
What just happened?
Yeah, I was trying to move the cushion.
It's okay. He's like, continue on
without me. I can't do it.
I think it was
You're
that turkey.
dying.
But yeah, we're pretty much just counting down to when the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X come out, and there's not really a whole lot of like big news coming out or anything like that.
Right,
so-
right. They're waiting. Are they waiting for like holiday season? I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be like the 12th of November is when the PS5 launches. I think it's like in the Xbox Series X is like 2 days before that, like on the 10th. So they're really close together, and that's when like everything's going to like go crazy. But for now, there's not really a whole lot of news to talk about, so we're going over our list. Perfect time to go to like kind of like get our list together for, and this time we're going to be going. We did the top 10 games of the generation, the PS4 generation.
Right.
Last time we were here.
Yep.
Now we're doing our top 10 games of all time, plus 5 honorable mentions.
And honestly, last week, or when our last episode of Spitting Games Radio, it was PS4.
PS4.
It's hard for me to even think about any type of game that I played on the PS4. I'm sure, like I'm sure that I have played some of the games, but not a lot of them. You know, like not enough to be able to compile a big enough list. But now this week, since you've let the reins off and you let us be able to decide any video game, I've got a list.
Good.
I've got a list, and I'm
excited to hear what. I don't know anything about what Ryan's going to bring to the table. I don't know what his list is going to be. I want to hear what the chat has to say about like what their list is. We're going to go over
all
some of
time,
you
guys. All time. You're not limited to anything. These are your all-time favorite video games.
We're going to do a similar format to last time, where we're going to start from 10. I'm going to go with the chat's 10. We're going to go over Ryan's 10. Then we'll go over my 10, and we'll do Jimmy's 10 as well. Although I'm not sure if he actually has his 10, but.
I think none of us are sure that he has a 10. Does he? Do you have a top 5, or do you have like 5 runners-ups?
Bro, I got all 10.
No.
He has all 10. He
No.
says he has all 10. We're gonna go.
No, this is horse shit, and you know it, Rick.
We're
you
gonna
know it.
We're gonna do. We're gonna be
You
like,
tell me.
I got my list.
No, you have 10, right?
Yes.
How many are we supposed to have, Rick?
well, 10 plus the 5 honorable.
Plus
mentions.
what?
5 honorable mentions.
Let me Hulk Hogan it. 5 what?
I have 5 honorable mentions. I can name them right now.
No, don't do that.
Don't
but
do that. We're gonna go. We're gonna do.
All right, coming in at number 1.
I gotta give you number. You're starting with number 1. Who gives a shit about your number 10 then?
Yeah.
I know, right? That's the
So
point.
we're gonna start from. We're gonna start with the chat. We're gonna start with honorable mentions. I'm not
Honorable mentions, guys.
Not gonna go too much about go into them too much. I'm gonna like kind of list them off and kind of give like brief thoughts, but that's it.
Right.
So if anybody keep posting any of their list, we can
Anybody? Does anybody have any runners up that you guys want to put up before we start going through ours? If there are, say it now or forever hold your peace. We're about to get started with our list of our runners-ups, and as we're going through our runners-ups, I know that there's a little bit of a delay, so we'll be able to get a little bit from you as we roll. So how do you want to do it, Rick? What are you thinking?
Let's go with your honorable mentions.
All right, my first honorable mention.
And then we'll go to check the chat, and then we'll do mine.
My first honorable mention is going to be Street Fighter. The first Street Fighter.
I think you're probably thinking of Street Fighter 2.
It might be Street Fighter 2 because the first first Street Fighter was like walking and fighting, and then
The first Street Fighter was,
it wasn't like a
it was just an arcade game, and
it wasn't like a
it
dual
was just
combat.
Ryu versus Ken, I think.
Right. I'm thinking
You're
more
thinking
of Street
of
Fighter 2,
yeah.
which was like the versus mode,
Right.
which there are two people
with
and
Blanca and Zangief.
Exactly. And but the only reason why that one is one of my number 5 runner up. You missed.
There's a
thought
reason
you.
he's dead.
I would have thought you have gotten it by now. I would have thought you have gotten it by now. But the only reason why is because when I was doing maintenance, I would do maintenance and I would play the Street Fighter game on my phone and sit on the toilet for 45 minutes and play Street Fighter. I'd be on my break using the bathroom.
Right.
Not really pooping. I wasn't really pooping, guys. Just so you know.
I think we've
I
all
was
done
playing
those.
Street Fighter.
We've all taken those bathroom breaks where they're bathroom breaks,
Yep.
but we're just there, like passing the time, trying to.
Hey, you just gotta pass the time, man, because sometimes you don't want to. You don't feel like it. What did you miss, Kelsey? What did you miss? You haven't missed anything. We just started, so
we just started.
You can make your list of your top 10 video games or your top 5, whatever your top.
And if you
what
have
are
honorable
your,
mentions, post those as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your next honorable mention? We're gonna go through them all and just kind of like.
My next honorable mention is Mortal Kombat,
Mortal Kombat, another fighting
which is
game.
like the first Mortal Kombat. So when I really got into. So nice for you to join us.
I'm sorry, dude.
You're not even sorry. You're just saying that so that people think that you're a nice guy on the internet. Because if you were actually acting like you really act, you would have been like, "Fuck off, man! You can't tell me what to do."
Shirt makes me look like I have boobs.
Makes you.
You look good in that shirt, Jimmy.
You look great in the shirt.
Mortal Kombat.
That's all.
Mortal
I wanted to
Kombat.
hear. That's all I wanted to hear.
So I love the first Mortal Kombat.
Jimmy is having a day.
He's having a day.
I'm just trying to get you guys out to invite me to this show
He's on the
anymore.
struggle bus.
It's too bad, Jimmy. We need you on Wednesdays, buddy. Your Wednesdays from now on are taken up.
They are.
He's so not happy about it either. But yeah, it was Mortal Kombat. It was the first Mortal Kombat. And I love the fact that you could uppercut somebody, knock them through, and then drive them through the spikes. I remember when that game first came out, and there was all this brutal shit. Like, I think it was Scorpion or was it Scorpion's the yellow one?
Yeah.
He could fucking rip your fucking spine out.
Yeah.
He would fucking rip your shit out and just fucking sit there.
Scorpion's my favorite.
Take his mask off and fucking turn you into fire. And then what the fuck did what was the dude's name? The Chung Li, or was it Chung Li? Was
Probably Liu Kang.
Shao Tsung.
Liu Kang? No, Liu Kang. Was Liu Kang like the main character?
Yeah.
So Liu Kang, like, what was he gonna bicycle kick you?
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit about that. Come on. The fuck?
He was pretty cool
Oh
though.
fuck!
Could
It's not throwing a spear out of your hand with a string and
mean, it's
then
not that,
hitting you and then telling
Hey,
get over here,
thing, yeah.
and then they fucking get over here and then you can fucking uppercut
I don't
them
think they
into
have
the
much of a
fucking
choice.
ground. What's that?
I said, what? And he said, and then they get over here. I was like, well, I don't think they have much of a choice at that point. They're going.
They don't. They're going.
They're going.
Exactly. They're going. So do you want me to keep going or do you want to get like somebody else's? We want to
ahead.
go through all of our 5.
All 5
Okay.
honorable mentions.
But I just want to make sure that I'm covering everything that I want to say about my honorable mentions because I've got a lot to say about all these. These are important to me, you know? These are what I grew up with. Is there anything else about it? No, I love Sub-Zero, though. Sub-Zero was my favorite. Even though, like, fucking the other one that I just talked about, the one that says "Good over here."
I did
was
like Mortal Kombat a lot back in the day. Although I preferred like the later ones, like 2 and 3, because they had more characters and stuff like that. But
They had, yeah. Well, that was what I originally started with. And then we got the games for Super Nintendo later. But we would play those on the arcades, and it would be fucking amazing. And then I got, like, the regular one, and I was like, oh, that one's not so good. But whatever, it's still fun. It's still the game, you know. It's still what it is. So then my number 3 runner-up is Super Mario Super Nintendo. Which one is that one? Is that Super Mario
World.
Super Mario World. So Super Mario World, I was just a little kid, and I loved the first time I got like a video game. I felt like I was the most amazing person in the world because, oh my god, I got a Super Nintendo and I could play Super Mario World. That's about it. Like, it was fun. It's a fun Mario game, you know?
I want to, before you go, I'll just say Mario is also in my honorable mentions, not specifically World, but I kind of encompass Mario in general in that, where it's like, you know, the original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, World, 64, all of them. Like I love Mario. It's my favorite platformer is when like you're doing the jumping and all that from one platform to another.
Right,
Much. That's
right.
why it's called platformers. But I love Mario, obviously. Mario is so important to like the history of video games and the fabric of what video games are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I also agree with that.
Take my mask off.
When I
guys.
can,
went to
I'll
the store
throw
earlier,
in-
sorry.
I'd be more comfortable if you wore it.
Fuck off, Jimmy.
All right, your next honorable mention.
Well,
Jimmy, have you ever played a Mario game?
Yep.
You
down
like
the wrong
Mario?
hole. Down the wrong hole.
Huh?
You like Mario?
Yeah, I play Mario. I like Mario.
Good.
I mean, I'm not gonna go out and buy it, but like if you were like, hey guys, let's all play Mario, I'd be like,
Super
okay.
Mario Kart is free on the internet. On the apps.
That's
I don't know
amazing.
if that means anything to you. So we'll go to the chat real quick. Richard, Kelsey McKay said, Richard is going to hate this, but an honorable mention for me is Smash Brothers Melee.
I don't hate that. That's fine.
You don't hate that? You're cool with
Actually, Smash Brothers. Again, Smash Brothers. I put Super Smash Brothers in my honorable mentions. The entire series of Super Smash Brothers, because I don't really have a favorite necessarily. Although Ultimate, the most recent one, is really good. I love Smash Brothers. My favorite fighting game series, like kind of like Mortal Kombat and fighting game. You know.
Yeah.
And,
They're the fun fighting games.
And because I love it's a mishmash of the icons and video games, that kind of thing. It used to be just Nintendo. Now it's more like just video games in general are kind of coming in and being part of it, which is really good. And it's super fun to play as well.
Right.
So.
And then Brandy Garvin said, my favorites are Slayer to ICP and Mortar Pool to Spin W. Are those bands or video games?
Those are bands.
Slayer is a fucking band.
ICP band.
ICP
Now-
is a video game.
Now,
No,
of
I'm
course, Amora gave us her whole list.
We'll go over her.
we'll go over-
Does she have honorable mentions?
Yeah, she even has honorable mentions. So I'm going to go, honorables right here.
List
so,
them all off.
So I'm going to list off Amora's honorable mentions before I finish my honorable mentions, because I just want to make sure that we're all, because
Sure.
I know we still got everybody, but we'll just keep everybody covered as we go. So her first honorable mention to Spyro.
Spyro's
And
fun.
I remember seeing
fucking copycat.
I remember. Is that one of your honorable
Fuck!
mentions? She stole it. Stolen. And then Uncharted.
Fuck!
Uncharted is really good.
You didn't fucking play Uncharted.
it's
You don't
made-
even know what that is.
I know what it is, but
It's a game.
it's-
It's a video game.
It's kind of like modern day Tomb Raider. The main character is Nathan Drake, where you're you're going through an adventure, kind of discovering things. Like you might be looking for an ancient treasure or something like that, and you have like
Oh, that's pretty.
it's kind of like Indiana Jones to a degree.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you have different. They're very story driven and they're fun to play as well.
And then
I like
I'm gonna
Uncharted.
save this because it looks like we're about to lose it. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you can
save that.
go ahead and save the whole thing. If anyone else also has theirs, you can.
Yeah, if I see anybody else's list pop up, I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna put it into our things because I don't want to lose.
What's Amora's
I don't know
next
what
honorable
it's
mention after Uncharted, which is really good. I love Uncharted.
I'm gonna.
Uncharted
right now.
2 is probably my favorite. 4 is really good as well. 3 is really good. I don't really enjoy 1 all that much. The first Uncharted
enjoy
is
1
definitely the
that much?
worst. Yes, the first Uncharted is definitely the worst, but they're all.
What the fuck? The fucking. Why do you have to? You see, you're making it worse, Jimmy. You're making it worse. All right, well, let's see if it works. What? Why does it keep deleting?
Ron's trying to.
Oh my God.
Ron's trying to do something and it's not working.
The
way-
computer is not working for me. It keeps shutting down notes. How is it shutting down notes? I can't even.
So we're waiting for Ron to.
All right, now let me see if I can do it this way. It's not going to work.
So what is going on with it?
I
Why
have
is it- why does
no
it
idea. I'm
Close it
having
when you're
some
trying to
computer
paste.
problems. This is not working.
It might be honestly too much on the computer, but so let's.
There's a lot going on the computer. Let me open up
So
pages.
just
real
take
quick.
a screenshot, not a screenshot, but a picture of it. Take a picture with your phone.
It's too late. I can't go up anymore. Can you go up and
Can
see
you
it?
control
Because
up?
no, it won't go up. Control up.
Okay. Just push. Can you just? Go?
Or we can ask Amora to do it to repost her list again.
Amori, can you repost your list? We're losing it to the chat for some
the
reason.
the computer
computer's
is
having issues.
not working with me right now.
So we're gonna continue with You copied it. See if you can post it directly into the chat.
I might be able to do. Hold on one sec. Let me see. Okay, this is
There.
working. Okay,
we got it. We
All
got
right,
it. We got it. Your list,
So
Amora.
Bloodborne,
You could.
No, that's number 10. Sorry. Ooh, spoiler alert. Uncharted, and then she has Galaxy.
Mario Galaxy.
Is that Mario? Probably Mario Galaxy.
Mario Galaxy really good.
And then Tetris.
Tetris is really good.
That's
as well.
that's an all-time classic, obviously. And then another all-time classic, Pac-Man. Damn, I wish I would have thought of Pac-Man. I
Pac-Man,
did not think
that's a good
about
one.
Pac-Man.
Jim, you got an honorable mention?
Yep. Yeah, I told you I have all 5 of them. Why do you guys doubt me?
Nobody's
you don't
doubting you,
have to
Jimmy.
have-
Just believe in yourself, man. That's all
you
we're
don't
asking.
Have to give your whole, all 5 of them if you don't have.
You could just do 2 if you want.
Just
No,
do-
do all 5. Oh, Amora said not Mario Galaxy. Well, what was it, Amora?
Yeah, what was it? I don't know what galaxy she's talking about then.
What galaxy are you talking about? Galaxy Quest?
Is that a movie?
I have no idea. Maybe it's a game for the movie.
So what's the rest of your honorable mentions, Rob?
Okay, so my number 2, I put DBZ Fighting because it was a Dragon Ball Z fighting game.
There's a lot of them. That
I know.
could be Budokai. Could be.
It might have been Budokai. I don't know.
Which
was one of
system
those.
was
It
it
was
on?
so
Do you
fun.
remember?
Huh?
Do you remember what system it was on? PS2 had like Budokai.
It might have been PS2. It had to have been PS2.
Budokai was really good. It kind of like was the first one I could remember where it kind of retold the story of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, yeah. You followed the story, but you still had like the regular fights.
It was a fun game.
And an update with Amora, she said when you're the spaceship shooting the alien ships.
Oh, maybe like Galaga or something like that.
Oh, Galactica or is that the old
Yeah,
game?
really old game.
Galactica. What was it? What was the
Galaga.
name of it?
That was
Galaga.
it. Galaga.
Yeah.
What's
I do
your
remember
last?
that, yeah.
What's your last?
So
honorable
then my
mention?
last one is NFL Blitz.
NFL. We
which
talked
was
about
like,
that before.
Yeah,
it
which
was really fun.
exactly. Which was like the I don't know how they got the NFL right. I don't know how the NFL gave them the rights to do that video game, but boy, that video game was wild and fun, and it was just. It
I
was
would like a modern version of that. Like,
yeah, that'd be cool, right?
The best part of NFL Blitz was after after a play was done, you'd be able to like run around and tackle like the other players.
Yeah,
so really
and you wouldn't get a flag. You just hit them.
just fucking. Sometimes you could power bomb them, that kind of thing
and Amora
too.
said that was an arcade game. Yeah, so there we go. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anybody else got honorable mentions on there?
I don't see any other honorable mentions, so we're working on to Jimbo's honorable mentions now.
All right. So we get Spyro out of the way. That was on my
was
honorable
on the
mentions
honorable
because I
mention
used to
stuff.
play the
So
fuck
she
out of
got
that
you.
game. Crash Bandicoot, honorable
That's
mention.
another good
Love that game.
The only time that I remember Crash Bandicoot, I never played the real game.
Sorry, I coughed.
I never played the real Crash Bandicoot. I only played the demo that came with the PlayStation. There was a PlayStation.
Oh.
demo
I remember that.
That was the only Crash, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But I never, for some reason, I never
got a chance
pursued
to play
getting the game.
So next is gonna be Tomb Raider. I love Tomb Raider. I was a big Tomb Raider fan.
On the PlayStation 1, the first PlayStation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Need for
They
Speed.
got new ones. You should try some of the new Tomb Raiders.
Yeah. Need for Speed.
It's
Need
like,
for.
yeah.
Need for Speed. I was a big all of them. Like I love Need for Speed. My favorite though was I think it was called like Need for Speed 911 or something like that. It was where you drive the
remember
cars
that.
into the buildings.
I remember
And
Need
you
for
blow
Speed. Need for
up.
Speed was the shit.
You,
Well, there was like
you
Hopper
blow
Super
up.
getting chased by like cop cars and stuff.
I know that. But Need for Speed 911 is when you drive a car into a building.
All right, we're done.
And
we're
you
done
kill
with
a bunch
this.
of
We're done
fucking
with,
people.
We're done with this joke, Jimmy.
No, because you didn't.
We're done with that joke.
Your
Move
fucking
on.
greasy ass fingers all over my pop filter. You fucked up my goddamn this.
Okay, we're moving on to my
Is that
my
fucked up?
my.
You can trade it with the other one. Trade it with the other one.
I wasn't done. I had another one.
No, I'm saying trade the arms, the mic arms.
Jeez Louise,
I
Jimmy.
like this arm.
All right, well, I'm sorry then. Like that arm then.
I'm gonna give my first.
That's not fair. I only gave you.
No,
3.
you, Rick. It is not fair.
Need for Speed 911 was a real game. They only had Porsches on the game. It was all Porsches, a whole bunch of different types of Porsches, and that was my favorite.
Okay, what's the next?
The next one is going to be Resident Evil. The really old one.
Porsche 911. Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed.
It was 911, right?
Need for Speed Porsche. Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed, released as Need for Speed Porsche 2000. In Europe, it was Need for Speed Porsche 11. But when I put in 911,
That's what popped up. So maybe I got the names wrong.
It was something 911 bundle. There was a 40 something 911 bundle that was released in November.
That came with the fake
2003.
explosives and the.
It was available in Germany.
Stop.
It was available
You're
in
gonna get
Germany.
fucking delisted or something.
It was available in Germany, and it was a special 40th anniversary.
I hate to be
edition.
like the HR here.
I
but
like
that's-
that.
Oh, of
that game.
Porsche 911. There you go. The Porsche 911.
That was
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite
That's
Need for
what it
Speed
was.
game.
That's what it was.
That
a
was a
Porsche
lot of fun.
car 911.
Well, yeah, there's a Porsche 911.
So you're not just
911
making
Turbo.
rude jokes. at the
No,
expense
a
of the
Porsche,
American people.
Porsche 911 is a real thing.
Go
So
ahead.
then, what did I? So
If we were spinning Venom, okay, but we're
Grand
spinning
Theft
games
Auto.
now.
Grand Theft Auto is an honorable mention.
GTA 3 or the ones where you like top
GTA
down and you can run
5.
around.
I like 5.
5's really good. Did you play the whole story? Or
No. I just ran around running people over, shooting people,
That's what GTA is good for. Is
trying
taking
to
out,
blow
GTA,
buildings
yeah.
up.
taking out to, like frustrations on like and stuff.
Was that 5?
And Amora said that it was shooting Alien Shop. It is an arcade game. Galaxy Attack, Alien shooter.
Was that your all 5? I think it was all 5. So it's all 5.
Was that all 5, Jimbo?
I think.
Round of applause for Jimmy giving 5 honorable mentions.
Was that it?
I think Rick's trying to just rush past me.
No,
I don't
did
think
you-
he
did you
really-
finish
I don't
them?
think he really cares about
Did you finish them?
my.
No,
Top
GTA
5.
5 is actually a really it wouldn't it's not in my top 10, but it's actually a really good game. It's my favorite game of
I mean, it's not in my top 10, but it's fine.
I think it's 2013 that it came out, and it was my game of the year in 2013.
Yeah, it's
So,
okay. It was
Alright.
game of the year for a year.
We're good.
Maybe not 2 years, but
I gave all 5 of them.
All right, my I gave one of mine already, 2 of mine actually, 2 honorable mentions was Super Smash Brothers, the entire series pretty much, and Mario as well. And then I have Red Dead Redemption in my honorable mentions. That's really good. It's a cowboy game, kind of like GTA. It's made by the same people, but it's cowboys
yeah, I've
instead.
heard. I've heard that because Bob likes running around skinning rabbits. Or was that you?
Hunting is fun and that kind of thing. You can hunt and you can go fishing and all that. I love the story in those games. It's really good. Final Fantasy VII is in my honorable mentions. Very influential game. Another very important game in the history of video games. Kind of put RPGs on the map. Came out for PS, one of the first big games on PlayStation. Because that was around the time PlayStation actually first started, as like making their own game systems, that kind of thing. Sony, and Final Fantasy VII kind of helped bring that and make it a big deal. And Final Fantasy VII is so good. I love it. I think it aged really well and still as good as it ever was. Final Fantasy XIV is another on my honorable mentions. That's the MMO that I play a lot now. It's the best Final Fantasy since like the 90s, in my opinion. The 10, 11, 12, 13, they were not. I mean, 11 is also online. I didn't really play that, so I can't really say too much about it. But I didn't really love the games up to like past 9 too much, and 14 is just really good. So yeah, that's my honorable mentions.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Once we go into number 10, do we want to go to Amora's number 10? And then we'll kind of like...
We'll do Amora's, and my friend, actually, Kelsey, who is in the chat, she's a friend of mine. I have her...
Are we going like
top 10 as well?
like number 10, number 10, number 10, or are we doing all your list and then
No,
all
10.
your list?
Let's
10.
do like 1 and
We're
1
doing
and 1 and 1 and 1.
10,
Yeah, because I
9,
think we got a lot
9.
to say about each.
All right,
Yeah.
good. That's what I think we should do.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Way more time.
It is more time.
Let's go with Amora first.
All right, we'll go with we'll hook up with Amora's top 10 real quick, and we're gonna go to her number 10.
If anyone else posted, make sure no one else posted like a top 10 or whatever, too.
Check here. Nope, we got just people talking about TikTok, and then we got over here. Nope, we're all good in each of our chats. So I'm gonna go on with Amora's number 10, and her number 10 is Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, we talked about that the last time we were here. It's in one of the Souls-like games made by the same people who made Dark Souls and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very, very tough
Is it
game.
similar to that type of game?
Yes, very similar. It's very fun. I love those games. So, some of them, the Dark Souls, I preferred the Dark Souls series. That's on my top 10 as well. My friend Kelsey, she said, and she's in the chat as well. Number 10 for her is Tetris. Tetris is really good. Tetris was a game I enjoyed more as I got older. Because when I was younger, my grandmother played it a lot on Game Boy.
Really?
Yeah, and like I didn't really. To me, my grandmother playing it a lot meant it was an old person's game. I didn't. When I would play it, I just really didn't understand it, right? And I really didn't like the blocks were falling and stuff. I just remember like the song, the Tetris music.
Yep.
Everybody knows do 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 do. Like that's kind of like. But yeah, I love Tetris. But lately, the new versions they've been coming out. The most recent one is like Tetris Effect. That is really an awesome game, and it's like very visually stunning. Like you have a lot of things going on in the background. They kind of like tells not really a story, but it kind of has like each level has its own music and that kind of thing. It's really good. So I love Tetris Effect.
Hell yeah. It's called Tetris Effect. Tetris Effect.
Yes.
But it's still Tetris. It just has like a bunch of like
a bunch of
distractions, if you will,
yeah.
like to kind of make it a little more complicated.
Interesting too, because it's like, the music will go based on like things that you're doing and that kind of thing as like dynamic music,
Right.
So that'll change, and every stage has its own song and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good.
And that's what Kelsey said in the chat. She said it's so much fun, Tetris Effect.
I love
I'm gonna
it.
have to check out Tetris Effect because I do like me some Tetris.
You should. It's really good.
All right, is it my turn now?
What is your number 10?
My number 10.
This is Ron's number 10.
My number 10 is the Super Nintendo NBA Jam. Now, NBA Jam, I might be confusing. There were two NBA Jams. The NBA Jam that I'm thinking about was the one that let you, it was just like NFL Blitz on, the PlayStation or whatever, the N64 or whatever consoles it was on. But this one would let you, like, when you would jump up to slam dunk, you would jump up 10 times
Super
higher than
high,
normal.
and
Yeah, you would just go crazy, and then like you would go on fire. And when you were on fire, it didn't matter where you are; you could just jump and you could make it. And there was a character whenever I was younger. My cousin, I remember, I used to really like to watch Frank Thunder, my cousin here, on the shows. You can go back and watch some of the Frank Thunder episodes, where he would be playing it, and I would just be like, man, that shit's fucking fun to watch. It's just fun to watch people play video games. This was before the YouTube thing, and I would just watch him play. And then there was like a chicken that you could unlock, and he would do, or there was a specific type of dunk that you could do, and you could do like the funky chicken dunk, and like he would do like some type of a jumping dance and then dunk it, and I thought that was just the coolest shit. So NBA Jam is my number 10 because I had so many like little memories of like me playing it. I wasn't the best at it though. I wasn't as good as my cousin, so I watched my cousin play it more often than anything. But I just fucking loved that game. I thought it was badass.
I played the NBA Jam with friends back in the day, and it was really fun on like Sega Genesis. I think it was on Genesis and Super Nintendo. We played it a bunch of it. I don't remember, I don't have any specific memories of it or anything like that. Just remember it's one of those games that that was really based around playing with your friends and that kind of thing, and passing your controller and all that. Do you have a number 10, Jimmy?
Yes.
Go ahead. What's your number 10?
Well,
no, I'm not. You're making this a thing. I'm not.
I didn't. You got your number 10. I see the smirk. You have like a little. You have a little smirk.
Yeah.
You're reading things,
Jimmy. Let's hear it.
My number 10 is SmackDown vs. Raw 2006.
Specifically 2006.
2006.
Good. Is that before Here Comes the Pain?
That was after.
After.
It was after Here Comes the Pain. Here Comes the Pain can suck it.
Wow.
I love Here Comes the Pain. And in terms of like, I like Here Comes the Pain because it was like very, you could take it. It's in terms of story and narrative. It was like actually told a story. That kind of thing. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That was the only time I remember them doing a big thing like that.
I liked Here Comes the Pain.
Yeah. So
I don't remember anything about no stories of Here Comes the Pain.
Go with 2006.
6. That was my favorite one because
was 2006?
Huh?
That was 2006. Damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, 2006 was the.
You guys, we're old.
Well, yeah. Did it have GM mode in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006? GM mode is pretty fun.
I can't remember every single little detail, but I know GM mode was later. But I don't know, man. Something about that game. I got a lot of good memories
from back in those days.
Just wrestling games in general should have a special place. That's an honorable mention too. Just wrestling games in general are really good. We're really fun, especially me, Bob, and Larry. Would sit there for hours and play wrestling.
Play
games.
each other and just go crazy.
Days
Talk
of
mad shit.
Day of Reckoning on GameCube and SmackDown vs. Raw and all that.
Wow. All right, 06. So that's my number 10. So
What's number 10 for you, Rick?
My number 10, I brought it up last time I was here. Is Undertale. That's an RPG, which is like you're going through. You have random encounters and it tells a story throughout it. The music in that game is fantastic. I've talked
What
about.
type of story does it like? What's like the overall arch?
So it's kind of got like a meta-based narrative.
So
where
it kind of knows that it's a video game.
Yes, it definitely knows it's a video game. It takes advantage of that, and like even like things like your level in the game is kind of like it means something more than just your level. Like it's like EXP in this game means something. And like your encounters and like you can go through the entire game and not kill anyone. There's like you have the fight option, you have the act option, and you have like the mercy option and items and that kind of thing. And if you hit act, you can like interact with whoever you're fighting, and you can kind of like talk to them or something like that. And eventually you can get to a point where you can like just be friends with them, and you continue on your journey.
Right, and then you can like change it up as you go.
But you can kill everybody in that game, and if you kill everybody, there's a different path of the story and that kind of thing. You actually play. Eventually, it's revealed you're playing as a different character than you would be if you didn't kill anybody and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it plays with the idea of being a video game in a lot of interesting ways. Because like you can go through the game one playthrough and experience something that you wouldn't experience in another playthrough. Like there's like different values that like every playthrough will kind of change up and that kind of thing. You'll get like a phone call or something like that at a certain point, but you won't get it in your next playthrough. And it's just random stuff like that. It's funny.
Is it like Fable?
It's not like Fable really, because Fable is more 3D. This is Undertale is a 2D game. It's more like an old school like I don't know if people know what Earthbound is.
I've heard of Earthbound, but
it's based on Earthbound. Like it's kind of like inspired by that. Where it's like 2D graphics. It's got like a lot of charm to the characters and stuff like that. They're very memorable characters. Sans is one of the he's kind of a meme on the internet now. Sans,
why?
Just because he's like the most popular character.
Oh.
And Megalovania is like is a big it's a popular song from that game that people like. You kind of hear. Anybody if you heard like a meme video where you probably may have heard this song before, Megalovania.
Can we play it or will we get popped?
We might be able to play it. I'll play it on my phone rather than on there.
And then just give it a little bit of speaker.
Yeah. I'm going to play Megalovania real quick and see if anybody's actually familiar or heard this before. Because sometimes it'll be like one of those things and it'll just pop up in a meme video.
I've heard that.
No, not really.
Jimmy's too cool.
I'm being honest. I've never heard that before.
You're too cool. You're a cool guy, Jimmy. You sing in your metal band. You're an artist.
I'm sure that's killing people's but this is and you fight Sans in the genocide route, which is where you kill everybody. And this is what Sans looks like. So it's like a cartoonish
you
kind
like
of.
Regicide though?
What is that?
Where you kill the king.
Oh. No.
Regicide's
we should kill the
European
king.
history. They always chop their king's heads
So
off.
yeah,
maybe not always, I guess, but they do it a lot.
the story in Undertale is it's charming. It's not like super violent or anything like that. It's fun, and it's just a good game. I love it. So if you want an interesting story in a video game that kind of plays with your ideas and what your idea of a video game story can be and that kind of thing, you should give that a try.
Yes or no? Right. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't really care for what it is. I don't know what.
I just wanted to make sure that
I mean, I don't know
that
what they were saying.
Backspace was okay.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I don't know if you guys heard, Megalovania was playing it, but even just the music in that game, I like video game music. I even listen to, like I said before, I listen to video game music sometimes just in my free time.
Kind of like Jimmy listens to wrestler entrance music.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do that too. But
I do it with Evolution.
Fucking
I
Mark,
do it with Evolution.
I didn't say that.
I do it with Evolution.
I said hey, listen. Sometimes I work out to, well, not recently because I've only been working out with you, but I used to, like, I would work out to, like, Triple H's song. Like, his main song.
But that's an actual song.
That's a good song.
That's an actual
That's a
song.
song
That's a
made,
legit song.
Yeah, but no,
But I
that's
would-
by
By a real band.
yeah, but it's a song made for him. It's not like
Yeah,
they had that
yeah.
song before.
I mean, I would listen to, like, you know, the
I like
Undertaker.
the most recent one for me was Shinsuke's.
Shinsuke's theme is really
That
good.
was badass, right?
I like
Was it
Undertaker.
breaking down with that fucking violin.
I like Undertaker's, like,
Dead Man Walking?
The Attitude Era Undertaker, when it was, like, the ministry where he was, like, you would, like, give the hymns and that kind of thing. Anyway, back to video games now. Back to video games, but maybe one day I'll go over, like, my favorite soundtracks in the video game, 'cause I do love video games music.
Right.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Undertale. I really want to implore that you should play this game and give it a try and give me your
Yeah.
thoughts. Everybody should
Give
play
it a
that
shot.
game. Give it a shot.
And if you guys in the chats are listening, give it a shot and let us know. And obviously,
And if you've ever played it, just let me know what you
jump back
think
and
of
forth when we're on subject.
Undertale. But
when we're on subject, tonight's video, Spitting Games Radio, guys. Even though wrestling has a lot to do with it, are we going on to our next?
yes,
So in between, I just want to go to the chats in between
Yep.
each pick. So Kelsey said Tetris 99 is a lot of fun too, where you battle each other. That's
really fun.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, going head to head. And then Amora, going back to Jimbo's, what game was it for you? SmackDown. Here comes the pain.
06.
It was
06.
06.
And she said that, yeah, those are fine, but not 2K20. Oh my
I have a
god, it
serious-
sucks.
I have a serious list. Don't make fun of my list. I have a very.
not making fun of your list.
I put a lot of work into this list just for fucking Rick.
I put respect on your list.
I've heard SmackDown vs. Raw 2K20 is actually really
Was
rough.
Garbage.
I've
The
heard-
world is a vampire.
So what's Amora's number 9?
All right, Amora, you're number 9. I'm gonna spoiler alert. Here you go, Amora. Here's your number 9, which she already put it in. Red Dead 2.
Red Dead Redemption was in my honorable mentions.
That was the GTA type but
Cowboy
back in the
game,
day, right?
yep.
You go hunting and you can skin rabbits. She
Yep.
probably likes skinning rabbits. Amora, you like skinning rabbits? Can you skin deer?
Yeah, you can. count
You
everything.
probably like skinning deer too. Me too.
Red Dead
But I like it in
Redemption
real
and 2 were
Even
both
though
in
I've
my
never
honorable
done it
mentions.
before. I have skinned a not skinned, but I've what is it called when you scale a fish? I've scaled a fish.
I think you don't you skin a fish too?
Skin a fish. Maybe it's skinning a fish.
Well, no, it is scaling a fish. 'cause
And
they have
Amora said,
scales.
"We love your list, Jimmy."
You're,
Somebody's kicking
Anyway.
somebody's ass.
I
um,
thought you meant Amora rolled her eyes.
No, I'm rolling my eyes. Amora said, "We love your list, Jimmy," and she said, "I skin bears." Damn!
you can skin bears in that game too.
I might have to
think
play
you
that
do
game.
like panthers and stuff like that
I
as
might
well.
have to
Run
play
into
that
them.
game.
For a half a second,
Or
I
like
thought
mountain
she meant,
lions.
like real life.
It's mountain lions, not panthers.
Yeah.
But so Kelsey's number 9 is Pikmin, which is an old.
Pikmin?
Pikmin is a.
Pac-Man.
It was originally on GameCube. I don't know if she means Pikmin or it's Pikmin 2 or 3. I only played the GameCube one. I only know that one, and I only know it very briefly. It's basically you have these. You're this little dude who crash lands on a planet, and you find these little creatures, and you use them to help. Like you're trying to collect the pieces to your ship and repair your ship so you get off the
So
planet.
Get out right.
And they help you out, and you kind of can get different colored, different ones have like their own abilities and all that. And you use them, you can throw them, and they'll do something. They'll go over to a place and they'll do something for you, and you can kind of like make a bridge or something like that. So
Right,
it's pretty. It's like a puzzle game. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. I actually want to play. I want to give Pikmin another shot. I never really gave it a fair shake.
That sounds interesting.
It's really cool. It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
What's your number 9?
All right, my number 9, and all right, so this may be a surprise, but this is going to be my last sports-related one, and it was NCAA football. Whatever the year it was, probably 2007, 8, 9, and my brothers and I used to play it all the time, and we competed with each other all the time. And then when we finally got the dial-up little hookup on the back of the PS4, we would play people online. Not very well though, because it would break up a lot. You know, there was a lot of, but I mean, it was fun. It was a fun game, and we thought that we were amazing at it until we like played different friends who were really good at it, and then you
No.
realize like, oh my
You're
god,
not really
there's some
good.
psychos about this shit.
For sure.
They are they're like nerd. They're really super nerds about it. I mean, we just played every now and then, you know, like after school when you get done with your homework, or you know, you skip your homework and then you play a little bit of games. But these
People take some
would,
of those
like,
stuff really
they
seriously
would actually use their brain
to play the
and analyze, and then like, you know, think about the statistic. Like, statistically, on a 4th down, if it's 3 and 1, or you know, like
See me, I when I would play like sport like Madden and stuff like that, I would always do Hail Marys. All I would do is do a Hail Mary. And
I would run it a little bit and then I would pass it. I'd
That's
be like,
really all
I'm
I
going to
do.
trick them for a little bit and then I'm going to try to
I didn't
pass
know
it.
anything about like, especially back in the day. I never really watched
It's
football,
weird
so I
because
was like,
football strategy works.
yeah, it really does. Like I didn't know that you're supposed to like do. Not do try to make it on a 4th down or
Right,
something like that.
right.
You're supposed to like get rid of the ball or like kind of like kick it and
Right, exactly.
I didn't know that, so I would just keep playing. But you know that's pretty funny. What's
My
your-
turn?
Yeah, number 9. What's going on?
Number 9.
What are you impatient? You don't like waiting on your turn or something?
What's your number 9, Jimmy?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
the damage is
Sean,
already done.
I said I'm sorry.
The damage is already done.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you can't just apologize for everything. That's like
I'm
me saying, with
sorry.
all due respect, you look like shit. No, kidding. Anyways, and now don't give me shit, because I know you guys are gonna give me shit.
You can't tell
But
us not
this
to
is a
if you know we
serious
are.
thing. It's a serious thing.
Shit. Go ahead.
Kirby.
SmackDown versus Raw 2007.
He's laughing. He's laughing.
I'm kind
He's
of.
laughing.
Why is it funny?
No. What was the one before that?
2006.
I'm
I have
almost.
my reasons.
I'm almost anticipating.
No, don't you say it. Don't you see? I'm not laughing. I'm
2007
serious.
No, it's 2007. Your number
2006
8.
is the follow-up
It's
for
your
2000.
number 9.
Yes, it's number 9. Why are you?
So what was awesome about 2007? Was
So-
it Brock Lesnar doing the
Actually,
clothesline?
I think Triple H was on the cover of 2007.
Oh, what a surprise! Who's he married to again?
Linda?
Linda. Did you say Linda? I think you're right.
No, but there's a reason for it, because back in those days.
Triple H is on the fucking
See,
cover.
you think I'm bullshitting you. I'm bullshitting.
Rick didn't believe you.
Like
at all.
I'm bullshitting.
Who's on the cover? 2006.
2006, that would have been, if I'm not mistaken, either John Cena or Brock Lesnar. I can't remember.
I think Brock Lesnar.
Or is it both of them? Is it the one with Vince and?
Close. You got to give him that. It's close.
It's John Cena and Batista.
Oh, that's the one where they had 2 of them. My bad.
That's
bad.
close though.
My bad. I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
remember.
close.
That was a long time
Close.
ago.
I'm impressed.
And I'm
All
more
right.
sad.
But there's
Why are
reasons.
y'all on Jimmy so badly tonight?
We're just messing with Jimmy. We're just giving some shit.
Yeah, he's messing with
Those
Jimmy.
were different time periods of
Now
my
listen.
life, and when I remember when those games came out.
Listen.
And okay, listen to Paul now.
Listen. Why did you say that you're so hard on Jimmy? Because you just want to play with him like just jokes. He's full of fucking shit. I'm telling you right now, he's full of fucking shit. No, don't fucking. Look. I get my 2 minutes. You get your 2 minutes. Is it a debate or what?
How Donald Trump this shit real quick.
Okay. Sorry, Rick. That was which one did you like?
That was it. That was 2007.
2007.
Yeah.
That's a good one though.
I thought it was very good.
I don't know. I graduated in high school in 2006. So
Me
I
too.
stopped.
Me too.
I
Oh,
stopped.
good for you guys.
I don't remember the last time I played an actual wrestling game.
Oh, you said you stopped or you
Those- those-
I just
graduated?
stopped video
Oh,
games then. Except for my number 1, which has been a constant throughout my life. And
Well, at least you guys graduated. Must be nice.
that makes you more interesting almost.
Okay.
It really does. Not almost. It really does.
So I'm going to talk about my number 9 now. Since we've
Oh,
gone
God,
over,
Here we go.
we've gone over Jimmy's, we've gone over Ron's, we've gone over Amora's and Kelsey's. And remember, if you have a list, post it in your chat,
Post it in the chat.
and we'll go over it. But my number 9 is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. You can also played on PS4 and stuff like that as well, because they've kind
Is
of
it like downloadable or is it?
yeah, downloadable. It's a now these days we call it Metroidvanias. Metroidvanias.
Why?
It's a 2D game where you kind of have like an explorable map. It's not just like state
Is it
one.
side-scrolling?
Yeah, side scrolling, but it's not like it's not like level 1, level 2, level 3. You have a big map that you're exploring. You can go through it like a castle or something like that. And Castlevania was the first game like that I played. Well, Symphony of the Night specifically, because there were previous Castlevanias which were level based, where you kind of have like level 1, you beat it, you beat the boss, and you go on to the next stage. But Castlevania Symphony of the Night, it kind of blew that out. And the previous games, you were playing as like the Belmonts, which they used a whip. And in this game, you're playing as Alucard, who was the son of Dracula. Dracula is the classical villain in all of the Castlevania games. And he has a sword. He has like you can level him up by like defeating different enemies and that kind of thing. Which the previous games in the Castlevania series didn't have any leveling system. There was no like you were just your character and that's all you were. You get like power ups, but that was really it. And this one you have a full like RPG system where you get different equipment and that kind of thing. And just the game was so good. The music is incredible, especially for like a.
Did they make their own music?
Yeah, they made their own music. It's really good.
Yeah, those are usually pretty fucking good. When they put that much effort into it, it's legit.
But yeah, Castlevania music in general is really good, but Symphony of the Night specifically is a fantastic game, fantastic soundtrack. And the thing about Symphony of the Night that makes it super special is that there's multiple endings. So you can kind of like go through the main, like the first castle, right? And not even know that there's a second castle you can get to, because you get to an ending where if you don't do certain things, you think you're done.
Yeah.
But if you do certain things before you get to the boss, you find out, hey, this boss is controlled by another guy. And then you destroy this thing that's floating around, like the final boss, which is Richter. You fight him. You destroy the orb, and then it reveals that there's like a second castle, which you can. It's as big as the first castle, so it's like you can miss an entire part of this game that's there.
Right.
But if you don't do certain things,
people have played the game and beat it and didn't even
didn't
realize.
know. Yeah, I think
you can really get through it like that. What
Yeah.
the fuck? That's crazy.
I think there's plenty of people to probably like. I don't think my first time I played it, I probably found out later where
Right,
you
where
can
you
go
figured out
back.
later that you could do it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's so much depth to it that the replay value, if you go through it and then you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then you find out that you can actually go through this route. That's pretty badass.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool game. I love Symphony of the Night. My favorite Castlevania game for sure. That's why it's on my list. And there's no other Castlevania on my list because it's not in my top 10. But the other Castlevanias
is like a popular.
Yeah, it's been around since the original Nintendo, and this was on the PlayStation.
Right. You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
But on to number 8.
On to number 8, guys. Here we go. And Amora's in our chats, which good old great Amora said GOW, which is God of War.
God of War.
I figured that out by now. God of War, and we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah, God of War is really great. Great game.
Just
Great
give like
game.
a quick synopsis of God of War.
God of War is it takes place after the original games did. There was 3 games on the PlayStation, PlayStation 2 and PlayStation. Yeah, God of War was on the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. There's a couple other ones as well, like on mobile devices, but this one takes place after God of War 3, which was at the end of God of War 3. Kratos, who's the main character of God of War, he killed Zeus and he destroyed the Greek pantheon. The only one that was left alive was Athena, and turns out she's not really a good guy anyway.
One of my best friend's cat is named Athena.
That's a good name.
Swear to God.
And then the new God of War takes place in the Norse mythology, but it still has. But Kratos comes from like the Greek mythology, so he's kind of like a Greek god in Norse mythology now. And it's
so it
different.
kind of overlaps a little bit. So they're telling their own story, but they're using these different.
And Kratos is obviously not like a real god. They created him for like these games. But it plays differently.
Sounds like a god, though.
You can level him up. You can the name Kratos sounds like a god
right.
name. Like regular ass mofo's not gonna be named Kratos, but
I'm gonna name my kid Kratos.
He's gonna be a god eventually. He'll
He's
grow
gonna
up.
be a cute little baby girl, and she's gonna be like Kratos.
Yeah.
Oh, Kratos.
I'm gonna get a fucking goldfish and name him Kratos.
No, that's bullshit. Not if I'm naming my kid Kratos. That's
And
disrespectful.
then you named your kid after my fish.
You know,
So what's that
I'm
say
gonna
about
have a
you?
kid before you have a fish.
I'll go get fish tonight.
No, you won't, Jimmy. You can't.
That's when you say I'll go get a kid tonight.
I'm gonna go make a kid tonight. Just kidding.
But yeah, God of War. The original ones were like character action, where you're kind of like you do a bunch of different combos and you have your Blades of Chaos. And the new one, it's like it's over the shoulder, so you're following the Kratos rather than you're like looking down on him. And you have the Leviathan axe, which you can throw and you can pull it back, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool sensation where you can
Leviathan,
you can throw it and you can call it back. You can throw it, leave it in the enemy, run up to them and beat them up, and then take it out of there.
Leviathan. There's a Parkway Drive song called Leviathan.
Something
And I
else.
know, since they've transcended the genre,
Something else.
you really are not happy. You do not like Parkway Drive.
They're just better than everybody.
They're
that's
just
all.
better.
I don't know. What are you
understand that
talking
they
about?
Think that they're better. Not that they are better, but they think that they're better than anybody.
Leviathan. I've heard
But
that.
there's a
somewhere
song
else.
called Leviathan I by Parkway Drive, and you know what? It's a fucking banger. I'll give it to them.
You
'cause
may
I
have
like
heard-
that album. That's a great
You
Parkway
may have
Drive
heard
album.
Leviathan because you know who used to call himself Leviathan when before.
Batista.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I was just fucking around.
He,
And
he
Amora
had the
in
Leviathan
chat said
spine
that
buster.
Ember Moon is Athena, so I guess that Ember Moon is
Ember Moon.
she does the
Ember Moon.
Athena gimmick. NXT wrestler.
She's a wrestler. I know she is, but
I think is she injured now or
No,
something?
she's
I haven't
on.
seen her in a
No,
while.
She came
no,
back.
I'm just kidding. I know
She's
who
still
she is.
around. Oh, okay.
No, yeah, she just came back. She's on Raw, I think.
Oh, she's on. Oh, okay. It shows how much I pay attention to wrestling.
so Kelsey's
I
number.
like shit from the 1950s.
I just
and-
follow it on Instagram.
I don't want
Hey, Rick.
to. We're going off a tangent.
Wrestling!
Too many tangents. We should have done a wrestling podcast. You guys want to fucking talk?
Eventually.
So Kelsey's number 8 is Spyro, which we've talked about already a little bit. Spyro, you got the little purple dragon running around. You collect all kind of little collectibles, and you kill enemies and stuff like
Fun,
that.
basic,
Fun,
right.
fun
I
game.
don't see color. To me, he's just a dragon.
Rod, what's your number 9 or 8? We're on 8, right?
Well, Amora's number. Are we on number 8?
Yeah, we're on number. We just did Amora's number 8. That was God of War.
Oh, okay. So my number 8 is GoldenEye N64.
Good choice. Good choice.
And now GoldenEye, like that. Okay, so the game was cool. Like the story. No, yeah, the story. The
That's
story
Mission
was.
Impossible.
Oh shit! Wait a second. What was 007?
What is 007's?
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
No. Let me go 007. And I'm gonna do N64. So
That's fucking. That's Big Panther.
No.
Alright,
Wrong
we're gonna
spy.
do
Well, he's Big
Wrong
Panther's not even
spy.
fucking.
Different
Okay,
spy.
guys, listen to this and tell me if this is the sound.
Smells like Taz's music.
You're ruining it.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. So that. I heard that. Thank you, Rick. I'm a little discombobulated now, trying to get this all straight. So yeah, like that.
Here we go.
The
Yeah.
whole mic stand fell down, though, Rick.
Just-
Am I supposed to be happy?
Just let it go. Just let it
Am I
go.
supposed to just let this and act like nothing happened at all when I'm embarrassed in front of our live viewers? I'm embarrassed now.
I don't know if you guys could tell, but Ron's mic fell. He's kind of like flipping out about why he's trying to talk. He's trying to talk about GoldenEye. I think a lot of people have like memories of GoldenEye growing up. Like it's like one of those games that everybody played with their friends on the Nintendo 64. It was, you're running around.
There's
You're
only
playing.
2 sticks, guys. Only 2 sticks. If 3, I would have thrown something, but 2, it's fine. I can handle 2 sticks. There's a joke in the chat. Whenever something goes wrong, I overreact, and sometimes like it's out of 0 through 10 sticks. And if it's like 5 sticks, I'm breaking some sticks and I'm getting pissed off, and like it's all just a ridiculous joke on me because people see how I am and who I am as a person. But yes, go ahead. What were you saying, 007?
Well, you talk about your golden
Well,
eye.
I love GoldenEye because the story was cool. The story was fun. That was whatever it was. But what I really liked about it was that fucking multiplayer. That multiplayer was the motherfucking shit. And we could have 4 people. We played N64. And, you know, I had a big family. I had a bunch of brothers and sisters. I'm the
Right.
oldest of 6. So we had 5 of them, and one of them had to sit out. Usually it was the youngest, because the youngest was not that good, even though they felt like they were that. Even though, like, we would convince the youngest that he was a different screen and he was fucking everybody up, and then, you know, everybody else was getting fucked up.
Do you used to play like the trick where you put the controller like cord close to it, and you give him the controller and let him think that he's playing?
And now I'm offended because Amora said that she has never heard of 007 N64. Now, well, the cool thing is you can go back and can you download it on the Nintendo stuff, or is that like something that's
GoldenEye isn't one that's really been updated too much lately. It's like you can play. I think you could play it on like the Xbox 360 the last time it was actually
Really?
available. Yeah,
You
so
can
it's been a
actually
while.
play 007 N64 on Xbox 360.
I'm pretty sure you can play it on an Xbox 360. But the thing is about 007, I loved GoldenEye, right? I love GoldenEye because back in the day we played for hours. Just me and my friends sitting around the TV,
Right.
shooting each other and that kind of thing. It'd be fun. But the thing is, it does not hold up. It doesn't age well because these.
Well, I believe that.
Because the thing is, the main difference between GoldenEye and modern day shooters is you have a second stick, and so you can actually look around. You can look up and down. Whereas you may not remember this, but you can't really look. You don't have too much movement as far as like you're pretty much just walking in corridors. You're going from one place to another, and you can't look up and down really well because there's only one stick to move around.
Right.
You have the C buttons where you could kind of like slowly move around, but it's not really all that great.
Right. It's not the best. It's not the best for that situation.
But that kind of holds over to the latest versions, which kind of just bring. Be careful, Mike. You're gonna get. Rod's not gonna be.
Fucking endgame put on you. Okay.
But yeah, but you still have your left stick, which you use to move around, and you have the right stick, which you can use to like look back up, left and right, and up and down, that kind of thing. But it doesn't really control too well on modern systems, especially with Halo and stuff like that, kind of updated, like that kind of style of gameplay, the first-person shooter, and also like Call of Duty and stuff like that as well. But I love GoldenEye back in the day. But I also played Perfect Dark, which was made by the same people as GoldenEye, and it kind of like updated that version and kind of had all kinds of crazy weapons and all that. It was really fun, really fun game. Really
and
fun.
Amora, that was me that gave you the angry face, just because I just felt like giving you the angry face because you said you never heard of the game. I thought it was amazing, and it was from my childhood. That's the only reason why.
Jimmy.
So, the number 8 holds significance here on my list because my number 8 game just
so happens to be.
No, it ain't. It's probably not what you
WCW
think.
versus NWO World Tour.
No, but
Am I?
that's a good one. You're
That's
close.
a good one. That's a banger.
You're close.
It's a banger-ranger.
So what is it, Jimmy?
Don't look at me like that. Don't tell me that I got it right. God, if I got it right, God, I'd be the happiest.
He said you're close,
boy.
though. You said you're close,
Yeah.
so it can't
I'd
be.
the happiest boy in the
Maybe
world.
it's WCW versus NWO Revenge.
that one was better. That was better than World Tour.
Revenge I actually got for my birthday one year. That was pretty good. That was a good
Jimmy's
birthday.
like, I'm sitting here with these marks, and they already know my game.
SmackDown versus Raw
2008.
2008. So, what did you like about SmackDown?
Maybe
versus
I like
2008?
every single one of them.
No, I'm.
All right, hold on. I want to do something real quick.
All right.
What was on the cover of SmackDown vs. Raw 2008?
You know what?
Undertaker.
Let's turn this into a thing, and let me. I'm gonna look it up.
It actually was The Undertaker.
Wait a fucking minute.
Not
What
just
is
The
SmackDown
Undertaker. Who else was
2008?
on it?
John Cena. Wasn't Brock.
Hold on.
But who did it
Don't give it away yet, because I want to put it on our stream real quick.
Undertaker, John
Just so
Cena.
that everybody can play along.
Who
'cause
did
this
they
is a fun
replace
one.
Brock Lesnar with?
Lashley.
No, wait. No, don't give it a. Rick,
I'm sorry, but
ruining it.
I'm sorry.
I knew it was. I couldn't remember.
So Jimmy got it right. It was fucking The Undertaker, John Cena, and Bobby Lashley on the cover of SmackDown vs.
Now
Raw.
you can see, I just posted it for you guys so that you guys can see where we are on Jimmy. And Jimmy got it right. Jimmy said
these are video games. I'm putting
but
them.
But here, I have to give you that because you fucking nailed it.
You nailed
said
it.
Undertaker, Lashley, and Cena. And
Well, I
as
needed help on
everybody
the
can
last
see-
one, but
Yeah,
I knew
but-
it was. I couldn't. I knew it was Brock, but not Brock, but the darker version of Brock.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
don't-
MMA fighter, yeah. Big body, yeah.
Big
yeah,
body.
Yeah, you're on it. So, yeah, that's fucking nailed it. So what was your number 8?
My number 8 is Diablo 2 on the PC. Diablo 2 was the first PC game I really played, ever. I played it over my friend's house more than anything. I never had my own PC back in the day. So I played Diablo 2 over my friend's house. I would stay over there. And for a whole summer, I feel like I would be playing Diablo 2.
Really?
While I would stay over at my friend's house just to play Diablo 2, really. I would be on their computer pretty much the entire time playing Diablo 2 at a friend's house where I'm supposed to be hanging out with friends and stuff like that. I'm just playing Diablo 2 the whole time. I mean, but we were all playing
Yeah,
Diablo
not
2
too bad,
together.
though. Not too bad,
It's so good. It was such a great game. Because
What did you do? Did you hunt people down? You hunted like zombies down or something?
something like that. It's you can pick your class at the beginning of the game. You probably pick like I don't remember all of them, but I played the Necromancer, where you can like kind of raise the dead. You can have a whole bunch of zombies following you, and you can also get like stone golems and like blood golems and stuff like that would have their own abilities and all that. It's a looter kind of game where you kind of like you kill enemies, you get like drops and stuff like that. They might have different like enchantments and all that, ways to upgrade your abilities and all that.
Right.
Diablo 2 was such a great game, and yeah, that's really, I don't have too much to say about Diablo 2 because it's like, you know, it is what it is. You know, I think a lot of people have played it, and it's kind of like, it's a game you play for the gameplay more than anything else, and it's really just about like going around murdering a bunch of demons and skeletons and undead
Like
people.
Doom in a way?
No, because Doom is like a first-person shooter, whereas Diablo is like it's just a RPG where it's kind of like not really top-down, but it's kind of like isometric. So you're kind of looking at your character. You kind of move him around by clicking on a place on the screen, and he moves there and that kind of thing. And you go over to an enemy, you click on an ability, you do the ability and that kind of thing. And the story is not really all that great. I mean, it is what it is. Just kind of like facilitates you from one area to the next, and that kind of, you have like your first act and your second act, your third act, and you have different areas you're exploring. The maps are huge. You can like go into like different caves and stuff like that. You can murder a bunch of like demons. They're pretty much you're hunting down demons, and it's really good, really
That's
fun.
always fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's
It's a
always
blast.
fun.
I love Diablo. Diablo 3 is really good as well. It's the most recent version. They're coming out with Diablo 4 sometime in the future.
I've definitely seen previews for Diablo. Diablo is like a big game.
Diablo is great.
And Amora said that if you don't know my number 1, please look it up. It's right up your alley, and and it's in VR. It's in VR. So we will once we get to number 1. We'll definitely put some
But
time.
now we're on number 7, and
Yeah,
what
buddy.
is Amora's number 7?
All right, Amora's number 7 is Marvel versus Capcom. What is that?
Which one is? It could be any of them. Like Marvel vs. Capcom is a fighting game.
Marvel versus Capcom's?
There's 1, 2, and 3, and Ultimate or something, or
So maybe she
Infinite.
means like the first one. Maybe the first
She-
one's what got her hooked, probably.
The Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is probably the most popular one, I think, because it was like you had so many different characters. Updated I didn't really play too much of the first one. I played the second one more than anything. And you have like a bunch of characters from like Street Fighter, from like different. You have Mega Man in there, who's a Capcom character, and like different Resident Evil characters too. But you also have a bunch of Marvel characters like Wolverine and Captain
That's pretty
America
interesting. Yeah,
and
that's pretty interesting.
Iron Man. But it plays like
Very good
Street
guys.
Fighter. It's very similar to Street Fighter in terms of like the combat because it's
actual
made.
play.
Yeah, so it's really good. It's really fun. The music's really good in that game too. You kind of like it's more of a jazzy kind of like soundtrack, which is interesting for.
Yeah.
So Kelsey's number 7 is Super Mario Brothers 3: which is the last one that was on the regular, the original Nintendo.
And then you're going through the maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a great one. I think everybody has like a lot of memories about that. Who are close to our age, at least.
For sure. That's a game that everybody should go back and play.
Oh, Rick, are you okay? Jimmy, how dare you?
I want to see him actually choke on his little cough, his little worker's cough. I want to see him
actually
yeah, he
choking.
accidentally. Oh shit!
And then he throws
It's
up
the
all
fan.
over my floor.
I forgot to like blow it that way, and the fan blew.
Sorry, I
Throws it right at him.
got asthma.
I got the asthma.
Messing with my asthma.
I love it.
So what's your number
My
7?
number 7 is Mario 64, because that one, I got the Nintendo 64, and my main memory about that is I remember being in school and not being able to focus on my schoolwork because all I wanted to do was go home and play that stupid Mario game that came with the N64, and I was so excited. I was just so excited about it, and it was a big world at that time. I'd never experienced any type of game that was like that, especially in 3D mode. I mean, you had the 3D mode games on arcades, but nothing where it was like an open world and you could explore it like you could that. I mean, it wasn't necessarily the biggest open world. I mean, you had like the castle and you had like the outside and everything like that, but being able to fly was a really cool thing, even though like you could fly on part 3 and you had the tail that would make you fly.
Sure.
The wings were pretty badass.
It's
like that
way
was a
different
cool
in 3D.
thing. And that took more time to be able to figure out too. And then you would go on to the into the, what is that thing called? The fucking plumbing, the pipes.
The pipes, yeah.
Yeah, you go into the pipes and they would shoot you off, and then you could actually woohoo! It's me, Mario. That was the best shit. So that was my number 7. I know it's basic, but
I mean,
a lot of mine's gonna be basic.
there's a lot of reasons like Mario 64 is considered one of the best games ever, and
That was an amazing game, man.
it's a great game, awesome game. You ever played Mario 64, Jimmy?
I wouldn't say it's as good as my number 7, but I have played it.
It is a great game. Great game.
It is a good game.
You have a bunch of different like levels and worlds you can go into and that kind of thing. You jump into the painting, and like I didn't actually play Mario 64 until I was a bit older, because I played it when I had friends in high school that were big Mario fans, and I that was the one Mario game that I didn't play for a long time. I had a 64, but back in the day I was playing Ocarina of Time, Zelda, and I was playing GoldenEye. I didn't really play Mario 64 until I got older, and then eventually I was over at a friend's house and I played it, and she had and we would pass the controller around and stuff like that. We played a bunch of different Mario games, but I played a bunch of Mario 64 then. That was probably like 2004, 2005ish. I was still in high school at the time, but way past it when it first came out. And that game, even then, it was super good. It was so. And actually, they just released Mario 64, Galaxy, and Sunshine on the Switch, and I played some of Mario 64 again, and it's still as good as it ever was. That's great. Although I do prefer Galaxy to 64. 64 is still awesome.
It's still good, right? It's still good. It's still a good game.
So Jimmy,
since your number 7 is better than Mario and 64.
Well, my number 7 is action packed. What I like about this is how you guys think I'm just so full of shit.
I'm not thinking you. Why can't you?
I can't have my own top 10.
Nobody thinks you're full of shit.
What's your number 7, Jimmy?
Please tell us your number 7, Jimmy. Please. Do we all have to beg you? Can everybody in the chat beg Jimmy to please tell us his number 7? We're all dying to know. I'm just teasing, Jimmy.
And I want you to tell me what's on the cover of it as well.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
Don't be. You better not
Wait
be.
a minute, what year? No, what
You
year?
better not
What
be
year?
Googling while in between.
SmackDown versus Raw 2009.
You better not be Googling between. You might be Googling. I'm not even catching it.
Look,
It is
that's
Triple H
what's, that's what's pulled up right now. I have a list. You want to see my list? I have a. You know how you got? There's my list right there. I'm not gonna. That's
Don't-
it. That's my list. So I have a
Triple
list.
H and
just
Shawn
like,
Michaels.
It
Oh,
is.
what a surprise! It's Shawn Michaels and Triple H, the best buds. And Kelsey said, "Jimmy, please tell us your list."
Because you tell me that.
No, I didn't tell him anything. I just want to know what your top number one is.
Maybe I don't have a
And
lot
Amora.
of.
Go ahead, Alan.
What does Amora say?
One sec. What were you saying, Jimmy?
Huh?
Do you want me to go back to Amora's comment?
Yeah. What did she say?
Amora said, "I feel like all of Jimmy's are WWE."
That's she doesn't know that.
Well, my number 7 is Dark Souls. Dark Souls. I have Dark Souls on here, and I mean
So
Dark
Dark
Souls
Souls-
1, 2, and 3.
That's one of the Dark Souls game, like legitimate
I'm
games.
including Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 in this because they're all great games. I love them all. 2 isn't as held to as high of a standard as the other two are, but it's still really good. But the entire series, I love them. They're great games. We've been over them a bunch of times. They they kind of tell stories in a different way than most games do, where you have to kind of like you read the description of an item, it kind of gives you a clue as to something else that's happening in the world and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's hard. You kind of are leveling up and that kind of thing, but it's still very skill based, where you kind of have to kind of learn the patterns of the enemies and dodge out of the way of their attacks and that kind of thing.
Right.
Dark Souls, we've been over this a bunch of times. They're amazing games. On to number 6.
And then on in the chats, we have Shamala. Here comes the ass kissing. Shamala says, "I'm with you, Jimmy. Clap hands." And Amora said, "There's nothing wrong with it, Jimmy."
What I think is really funny about this is how before I said it, Rick had already looked up the fucking cover of the game. He was like, I know what this son of a bitch is going to fucking say.
Okay, you probably would never guess my next one, though.
Well, what's Amora's next number
Oh, yeah,
7?
yeah, let's go to Amora's. Yep, Amora.
Number
we got your
6,
number
rather.
6. And that is Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur. I didn't play the first one. The second one, that was on.
I've definitely heard of Soul Calibur. That's like a big game.
Yeah, that was on. The second one was on GameCube, PlayStation, and Xbox, but each version had its own exclusive character. Heihachi, I don't know if you guys know who Heihachi is, but he's from Tekken. He was on the PlayStation version. Spawn was on the Xbox version. Yeah, Spawn, Spawn
Pretty
from
badass.
yeah, pretty
yeah,
badass.
that's badass. I like
But
Spawn.
the GameCube version had the best exclusive character. Guess who it was?
Who was
if you
it?
want to be able to guess.
Batman.
No, it's a Nintendo character. You probably won't. Maybe you won't be able to guess
Link.
it. Link. It is Link. So everybody.
Just because I like Zelda.
So everybody was all like, Heihachi? Who the fuck wants to play as Heihachi? We play Tekken. And Spawn's okay, but Link
It's
is
fine.
Link.
Link is
Link is Link,
transcends,
and it-
though. Link, like everybody has memories of Link. Like,
Yeah.
That's why I was like, Link. It's got to be Link. It's
And then you can play as him, fight him in Soul Calibur against other guys,
Spawn is a wicked
characters.
looking son of a
Spawn
bitch.
was badass.
He is badass.
Spawn's
That is-
definitely
He had a big
badass,
ass
dude.
axe.
That's
Yeah.
The big thing about Soul Calibur is every combatant, every character has its own weapon and stuff like that. That's why Link was in it, because he has the Master Sword. Spawn used an axe. Heihachi
Right.
Heihachi didn't use shit because he's just fucking martial artist.
Right,
So he just
right.
uses fists. But fuck him.
Yeah, that's cool.
But like it is a fun
Link
game.
had a sword.
Yeah, he had
Did he have a
the Master Sword.
boomerang?
Yeah, you can use it. You can throw.
use the
you can throw-
boomerang?
Yeah, you can pull it out, throw it out, and stuff like
And
that.
Kelsey said that yes, that's the only Soul Calibur I played. The GameCube version was the best.
It was really good. Really
And
good.
then Shamala said that I make it sound different whenever we're talking about there's them saying that I'm with you, Jimmy, and hey, maybe I'm a little bit sarcastic. I'm sarcastic. What do you want me to do? You know?
So Kelsey's number 6 is Katamari Damacy, which I'd never actually played Katamari Damacy, but I know what it is. It's basically you're this little ball, and you are like rolling your little ball, and you're gathering other things into your ball. Like you're rolling some stuff over, and it kind of makes a bigger ball. It's like a bunch of you're rolling it through like a planet.
Like a snowball effect.
Yeah, a snowball effect, and you're rolling over like people and cats and animals and all that kind of stuff, and then eventually you're rolling up cars and buildings and all that kind of. You get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
I never actually played it. It's one of those series that I've actually got a kind of a blind spot on because I never played them. But they're really charming. They're really cool looking, and I would like to play them at some point. What's your number 6?
You're never gonna guess my number 6.
This is Zelda.
Nope.
Mario.
Nope.
SmackDown versus Raw.
Age of Empires.
Nope.
SmackDown versus Raw.
Nope.
Can you give me a hint?
In that same vein.
Will I know it?
It was popular during that time as well. You would know it, definitely.
Is it a Final Fantasy game?
No. There were multiple games of that. There were like different versions of that same type of game, I think.
Is it in a
It was
series?
a Game Boy game. I'll say it's a Game Boy game.
Game Boy game. Pokemon. Pokemon.
What?
Which? Red and blue?
Red.
Gold and silver.
It was red.
Red.
It was
Okay.
red. It was red. That was the only one that I stuck with was the Pokemon Red, and that was a Game Boy game, and we didn't have. Now I'm getting personal. We didn't have any like power at the house or anything like that, so we had like these little the batteries. I had some rechargeable batteries, so anytime I could go to my grandpa's house or the neighbor's house, I would recharge them, and I would play the shit. It was the only game I had. I mean, I think I had like maybe another. It was like a Game Boy Street Fighter game, but it wasn't actually Street Fighter. It was one of those types of versions.
It was really
of games.
It was really what put mobile gaming, like portable gaming, on the map. Like there was Tetris, of course, but there was Tetris in like '88, and then Pokemon came in what 95 or something, 96 or something like that, and then so for that entire period, what are you playing on your Game Boy? Nothing. You're playing.
Really.
There was a Batman game that I played. That was really it.
Yeah,
it was
Wario,
yeah,
or
something like
those,
that.
Those types of things.
But Pokemon blew it up
That
because it was
the
an
shit,
RPG.
dude.
You were exploring the
That was
world, getting your Pokemon, stuff like
going
that.
through all these different worlds and then building up your fucking guys. And I got a Charizard. I got that motherfucker all the way like. Because that was the main one that I was working on.
Right.
I guess because it was the fucking red and it had Charizard on the cover, so I was like, oh, I gotta have fucking.
And Pokemon is still a phenomenon. Obviously, it's super popular still.
It
and
transcends. That's the thing about that. Like that.
It does
that
transcend
game
video games.
transcends.
Yeah, for sure. Jimmy. Pokemon is awesome. I love Pokemon.
Before we go, she said yes. Kelsey said yes. That's the only Soul Calibur I played. The GameCube version was the best. Now, Jimbo, what you got?
I don't even want to say it.
Why? Because you know we're already going to know it. SmackDown 2010.
What's the cover?
Did I get it right or did I get it wrong?
Actually, you got it wrong.
Shit.
It's 2011.
Shit.
2011. You're skipping.
Man.
Okay, what's on the cover of it though?
You gotta ask me who's on the cover.
Cena.
Yeah.
I guess Cena was on the cover for a long time, huh?
Big Show.
And then, oh no, but there's going to be one you might have a problem with. There's going to be one. There's going to
Cena. Hang on. Cena, Big Show, and it wasn't Rey Mysterio.
Nope, not Rey Mysterio.
Hang on. I have a photographic memory.
I'm starting to believe that.
Yeah, right?
Cena, no. 2011, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be here all night if we just can't let him keep going. 10 seconds.
Bro, I know who it is.
10 seconds.
I know who it is.
9,
Morrison and
8.
Oh, yeah, Miz. Miz is on there. Out of all people.
Yep.
Out of all people, what do you mean out of all people?
So why'd you skip 2010? What's up with 2010?
That's not my.
Cup of
That's
tea?
not on. That's not in that place.
Do you know what the 2010 cover is though? But 2010 might be later too. So
That's true.
is it later?
Cena.
probably.
Yeah, fact check me. Hang on. Go ahead and do it. I'm not looking.
Y'all fact check him.
Fact check
Fact check Jimbo.
Cena, Edge,
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton.
Are you looking at my phone?
My eyes are literally closed.
Did he get it right though?
Cena,
So far, yes, yeah. There's one more. I mean, it's an easy one. So, come on, Jimmy. Who is it? It's easy.
Is it?
Yeah. Who is the other biggest fucking wrestler of that era?
Batista.
No. Well,
Brock?
no.
No.
That's way after Brock.
Yeah.
I don't remember when Brock.
Not Punk.
No.
I don't know. I can't think of it. Cena,
Dong.
Orton, Taker?
Yep, Taker. There you go. Undertaker.
Oh, motherfucker.
There he is. Good old Undertaker. Cena. Then Jimmy's right. I mean, at this point, it's kind of like it's just, this is just the way it is. Cena, Orton,
This is more about
Mysterio.
you guys.
He got it. He got it. He got it all. There was Cena, Edge, Orton, Mysterio, Undertaker.
Damn, I thought Edge was dead by then.
Dead.
I mean, dead to me. Just kidding.
So my number 6 is Fallout 3, which was
Fallout 3?
originally on the PS3, the Xbox 360, and the PC.
Beautiful.
Fallout 3 was something else because you start off. It's made by Bethesda.
Fallout Shelter?
It's made by Bethesda, we talked about before. They were recently bought by Microsoft.
Right. For a lot
And
of money.
for a lot of money. But the thing about Fallout originally 1 and 2 was made by a different company. Then Bethesda bought the rights to Fallout and they made Fallout 3 out of it, which is a first-person RPG where you start off and you're in a Fallout shelter. They call them
Right.
vaults. You're in Vault 101, and it takes place after a nuclear attack. Like the entire globe, the entire world was like there was a global like nuclear war, and it destroyed
Like there's
like
going to be soon.
eventually, yeah. I mean, who knows?
But you
but-
know in your bones.
But people knew
eventually,
the thing is people
are
knew it was
crazy.
coming. People knew it was coming, so they made vaults, and they were like little societies, and where people did different things, and you have your role, and then
That's
your
so
character
That's a fascinating game already.
idea. But this one takes place in DC, the Capital Wasteland is what it's called. So you start off in you go through your early years. It's you kind of only see like brief snippets of like you as a baby, and then you while you're like a teenager, and then you while you're an adult, and like your dad disappears at the beginning, and then like he's escaped the vault. Like the vault's supposed to stay closed permanently.
Right.
Nobody can leave because you don't know what's outside. It's a nuclear
Right.
wasteland.
You have no right.
So your dad leaves, and it makes a big deal. It's a big deal for everybody, and he's to kind of like start being suspicious of you and that kind of thing. Do you know where he went? Why did he leave? And that kind of thing. Apparently, he had your dad was actually from the outside. He was brought in at some point, and then he eventually escaped. And so eventually, you leave the vault
They're
as
trying
well.
to keep everybody in there.
Yeah, they want to keep everybody in there. Because it's like a society of like
They don't want them to
different.
catch coronavirus. And
They have
come back
different
and get everybody
rules and stuff
sick
like
and
that.
die.
We're not going to talk about coronavirus.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, well maybe it's just like like whenever the Europeans came over to the Americas and they gave them all the smallpox or whatever
So
which seems a lot worse than coronavirus. Am I right, guys?
So you leave.
Am I right?
So you leave the vault, right? You leave the vault, and you're in the Capital Wasteland. And you kind of walk out, and you have like just you don't really have an objective really.
Right.
You want to find your dad, but other than that, you can go anywhere you want.
Right.
And you have the entire.
But you have like an entire wasteland.
Yeah, you have DC.
Right.
DC, which is plus the outskirts of DC, which is you have different areas like I think Alexandria is part of it and stuff
Yeah.
like that as well. And there was like Olney that area was part of it as well. And you can just like, go exploring. You can go through like different areas and go into like a different buildings and stuff like that. You fight like super mutants and stuff like that, which are big, hulking, like nasty looking creatures.
Yeah.
And like there's like a bunch of radiation, obviously, because of nuclear fallout. And you go in certain areas, you have to like be prepared because you might get radiated, and you have to kind of use different medicine and stuff like that. And it's kind of like an early survival kind of game as well, where you kind of like have to manage different things. So it's really, I love it. Fallout 3 was the story is good. You have like different like side quests you can go on where it's kind of everybody has like their own story and all that kind of thing. You kind of find different like little pockets of society that have built up since, because there's no real like there's no government or anything like that.
Right.
There's like people who say they're the government, which they might be the bad guys, or they might not be. Who knows? You kind of learn more about them, but they're not really the government because there's really no government.
Right.
But it's really good. Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games. I love it.
That sounds pretty badass. What number are we on now?
Number 5.
Number 5.
Amor is number 5.
Amor's number 5 is Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. We've talked about Crash before. It's really fun.
We
Fun
talked
game.
about Crash Bandicoot earlier too.
Mm-hmm. And Kelsey's number 5 is Final Fantasy 9, which Final Fantasy 9 is not on my list or my honorable mentions. It's not like one of my favorite Final Fantasies, but it is a really good one.
Yeah.
It's after 7 and 8, which kind of took the series into more of a modern and futuristic kind of like thing, and it was more fantasy based. So you have like different creatures that you play as and stuff like that. It was more medieval in terms of the style and stuff like that. There was no like big technology or anything like that. But it was really good. Story is fun. Characters are fun. Great music. Final Fantasy is known for having great music, and it's really good. What is your number 5?
So my number 5 is Zelda: A Link to the Past, the Super Nintendo version, and I really like that version because I was familiar with Zelda because I played the regular Nintendo version, and the Super Nintendo version just blew me away. I just had a lot of fun with that, and I thought that the graphics were really, really good, and it was fun being able to just travel in your own little world, just like the original Zelda, being able to just move around and just find these people to talk to, even though they just upped the ante with it. It was the same type of game, but they just upped the ante with that same type of game, and unlike they did with Zelda Part 2, which was side-scrolling and a little bit of the regular stuff, but it was weird side-scrolling.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was different. It wasn't bad. It was just different. It was just different. But I loved A Link to the Past. A Link to the Past that one still holds like I could still play that one and just have fun with it.
A Link to the Past is a great game. It was almost going to be on my list, but I actually bumped it at the last minute for a different game. Link to the Past is an excellent game. It is my favorite of the 2D Zeldas.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's also on Kelsey's list at some point. Kelsey has a Link to the Past on her list. I talked about this before. I didn't really love the original Zelda on the Nintendo, but something about A Link to the Past, like the updated graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just made it
so
popped
much
so much
better.
better,
Yeah,
so much
it was
better.
So much better.
And it just like I remember like you're on Death Mountain and you go into the Dark World for the first time. You're like a little bunny rabbit, and eventually you find something else so you can actually go into the Dark World and be like a human and actually fight Ganon and stuff like that. And it's like it's kind of like a deal with like Castlevania where you have like an entire part. You have another world that you can explore and that kind of thing. At like where you can go back and forth between the light world and the dark world and stuff like that. And you have different like you in the light world you kind of go through like and do 3 different dungeons. You think you're almost done, and then eventually you have 7 more dungeons in the dark world and that kind of thing. It's pretty crazy. It's really good.
Jimmy, you can't leave. Yours is next.
I was gonna say.
Well, go get your refill if you need, but
Because
Okay.
But I feel like the jig is up. It's not funny anymore because now it's just predictable. But no, so I'm gonna
Back down 2012.
I got halfway through the list, just being an idiot. So now my last 5, because you saw the list, it was all WWE games.
Right.
It's funny.
So you actually
I
have
thought
a,
it
you
was-
actually
it
have a
was-
five.
It was a great bit.
That's more about you guys.
It was a
You
great
guys
bit.
Actually, it was a good land a little, but the jig
I
is
think
up.
no, dude. I think everybody was into it though. Everybody loved it.
It was
Everybody
funny.
loves
I
it.
loved it. So do you actually have a top 5, or are you done?
I have 5.
Okay, you have 5. What's your number 5?
Okay, yeah. We were on number 5. Okay.
Yeah. Smack. Sorry, I'm kidding. I'm gonna say Left 4 Dead was my number. Is my number 5.
What's Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead was a zombie game on Xbox, and
Because I've heard of it. I've heard of Left 4 Dead.
and I liked it because it was like, for me it was different because I love zombie games. I'm just a big fan of zombies in general, like movies and games and shit like that.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I saw, and I was talking to Leland about this earlier. I saw that the new Call of Duty game has a point where you can be a zombie. So I've been seeing like a lot of people on YouTube be zombies and like fuck people up.
Yeah, I mean, they've always had
I've seen
that. I
people
can
do like a
remember-
fucking 10. They've done like a 10 fucking person combo of just killing 10 people before they fucking get shot in the head and fucking get murked.
I mean, I know like a lot of the Call of Duty games has like a zombie like wasteland.
I know they
type
always
game.
had like they always
play or
had like the
something,
zombie
board or
versions, but I didn't
something.
know you could play as a zombie.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
That's what blew my mind. But
Um,
anyway,
Left 4 Dead,
Mhm.
you had herds, and that was the first time I'd
That's
ever
badass.
like played a game where like you heard something and it was like fuck, like you're fucked because like 8 million zombies are gonna start running after your ass, and like you can't fight them. You just can't.
no,
like, there's
you
no
gotta
way.
go. You got to get out
You
of
gotta
there.
go. But I don't know, like I can't go too deep in because I don't really know too much about it. But like I remember when I had my 360, that was the first game I bought was Left 4 Dead. Then they had Left 4 Dead like Dead Island or something like that, or something Island.
There was
There was a couple of different ones.
there's a Dead Island game that's separate from Left 4 Dead,
Oh,
but there's
okay,
Left
I'm
4 Dead
sorry.
too. But I played some of Left 4 Dead. It was like an online game you could play with other people and stuff like that. It was really fun. And you have like different stages where you kind of have like an objective or something like that. You have to get from one place to the other, or like complete something in order to escape from wherever you're at and that kind of thing.
Left 4 Dead was a fun one for me. I had a good time because at that time it was a different type of zombie game. They weren't slow anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
what I
different
mean?
kinds. There's like
Right.
boomers and
Yeah, they
they
weren't
have
slow
like witches
anymore.
and stuff like that. Where a boomer is kind of like a big bulbous zombie. If you shoot it, it'll like explode and stuff like that. So you have to move away from it.
These zombies weren't like all the rest.
That's
And Amora asked what game was that, but I was trying to put in the comments, but I can't comment for some reason. Facebook's messing me up. Facebook is the worst. Real quick, just Facebook is the worst when it comes to the videos.
Fucking stupid.
YouTube,
Facebook.
we can answer you back so much quickly and so much better, but Facebook is just ugh. It's just not built for this stuff. You can tell it's not. Built. Maybe
I
they'll
know
make
a
it better.
phrase that can get us banned on Facebook really quickly.
well. Let's not say that.
Oh, I'm gonna say it.
Let's not. Say I thought he was gonna say like
I could look a list up. I'm sure there's lists.
there's probably you can say anything really. You can say a lot of things.
There's a lot of very easy things that you could say that'll get you kicked.
But
Let's not say those.
True.
So my number 5 is Final Fantasy VI. We've talked about Final Fantasy
Which is
a
a
whole.
big RPG. That's the most like one of the biggest RPG games out there, right?
Final Fantasy is huge. We've talked about Final Fantasy a bunch. Final
I have
Fantasy.
to be honest. Before I played Pokemon Red, I used to be very annoyed by games where you would choose the move and then it would go slice.
Turn-based, like yeah.
And I hated that so
I know
much.
some people that don't like it, but
But Pokemon Red, it turned that was the only one that I really got into because
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, I never tried any of the other games. But then I fucking they got me. They got me on that one.
well, the reason I got into like Final Fantasy and RPGs back in the day, like turn-based RPGs, like you're saying, like where you're walking around and you get into a fight and you select your move and your character does the move. You select like a spell or something like that, and it does it, or whatever. But the reason I got into those kind of games is because back in those days there were really no stories in video games other than RPGs. Like, because like like Mario didn't really have much.
It was basic.
It was like
it wasn't like
you're
you
just
really
rescuing the princess, and Mega Man didn't really have anything or anything like that. I love those games. Don't get me wrong.
Sonic.
But back in those days, yeah, Sonic.
I love Sonic.
What are you doing?
What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, but Final Fantasy and like bunch of I can name all kinds of RPGs. So Final Fantasy, Lunar, Xenogears, all those kind of games. They had like memorable stories and characters and stuff like those were like how I read books. So that you're literally reading books because there's so much dialogue and stuff like that, and then you're experiencing like the story and stuff like that. You're playing as these characters, and they grow on you. And Final Fantasy VI is one of the best because it has a huge cast of characters you can play as, and some of them are secret and has one of the best villains in any video game that I've ever played. And it kind of like you start off and you're playing as Terra, who is like this green-haired girl, and she's brainwashed. She's being under control of the Empire, and then you go through a little bit, and something happens where her brainwashing kind of like wears off, and which I'm not going to spoil too much, but. Or maybe I will. It's being fucking old as shit. This game came out. It came out in '93. So
if it's an old one, you know.
And you have this character. The main bad guy is Kefka, but for a long time in that game, he's just a regular guy. Not a regular guy. He's obviously one of the crazier villains, but he's not really the bad guy for a long time because the bad guy is the Empire, and he's just like a pawn in the Empire, and he's like, and eventually you get to a point where, like. He does this thing where the world is destroyed. Like at this point, like you're playing in the world up to a point, and then something happens, and you're playing through an entire different world, pretty much. And so I mean, it's the same world, but it's like it got a different layout because it's called the World of Ruin. Because what happens is there's these statues where that kind of hold the balance of the world together, and this is all in the game, story and stuff like that, like where you're learning about the world and all that, and. He does something where it kind of like it tears apart the continents and all that. You have different monsters that pop out, and like the Empire. He kills the Emperor, who up to that point was the bad guy. He kills him, and now he's the bad guy because he has this big tower and he uses it to kind of like laser anyone who disagrees with him, and that kind of thing. He's kind of like a tyrannical. He's like a crazy guy. He at some point in the game he poisons like an entire city. And he murders like children and women and stuff like that.
Genocide much?
Yeah, he genocides them. Kefka, he's an amazing, a great villain, memorable because not too many games back in those days, and even now, go that dark with a character that's just like he's evil.
Right, right.
A lot of
pure evil.
He's just evil for being evil.
Just
he's crazy.
Because he just wants to see people, so he don't give a shit.
Yeah, and like a lot of characters and villains these days, like they want to make them more tragic and more like.
They want him to have like that a reason why.
A reason why, yeah.
Which
he's
really,
more like the Joker. He's more like the Joker, especially like in the Dark Knight, where the Joker in the Dark Knight, you don't know why he's the way he is. He's just the way he is.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And but yeah, Final Fantasy VI.
Because that was the thing that I noticed about the Joker, and I don't watch very many. And Jimmy was there when I was being questioned about my intellect on DC Marvel games or movies.
I was training the other night.
Yeah, and they were like,
no. But I mean, rightfully so.
Because Endgame,
didn't you get your name from a movie?
No, you mother.
Is that what they said?
Son of a bitch. But I was,
You stole that from Avengers Endgame. You
From now on, like before every one of your matches, I'm gonna be back there with you and just get you propped up and be like, everybody thinks you got your name from a fucking
obviously
movie. You're gonna be
got
like
it from the
movie. Because somebody wrote me before, right when it was announced, and they were like, "Oh man, did you do your name?" I was like, "Man, it was like 2 years before this. It was the ending of a chess move. Like that was the story I was trying to use."
It's not like it's like Avengers Endgame.
but since that's like one of the most popular game or movies, it changes everything to where I'm like, I didn't, but. Now, and then I had promoters trying to tell me, like, "Oh, we want you to cut a promo doing this." I had no fucking clue.
Snap.
I was like, all right, I'll snap like that, sure. I had no idea. I've seen the movie since then, and I get the significance of the snap. And my promo would have been way better had I understood.
Right.
But I don't fucking. Nah, come on, Come on, man. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. Like, that's not my shit, man. Like,
That's pretty funny.
that's not my shit. It's a lot of people's shit,
Right.
and I understand that. But it's not my shit, So, I have to change the endgame thing. So here's a fucking, if you guys have any ideas for me to change my gimmick, my wrestling gimmick, because there's no.
It's
kayfabe
not, but the thing
dead
is, it's not
anymore.
like Avengers is the first thing. Endgame is kind of like you've heard Endgame before. It's
People
kind of
talk
like
about my Endgame is going to be people. It's like a well-known saying. That was why.
the funny thing is before they even announced the name of the movie, it was like because Infinity War came out first, and then like one of the characters says Endgame in it, and everybody was like, "That's going to be the name of the next movie." Guess what? It was.
So they
knew it.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. Because Endgame, like that's a fucking.
We're
legit-
we're
that's
in
a
the
legit-
Endgame now, is what the character said.
Exactly.
So
Well, that's what you're, especially in chess. Like you're in the end game now because there's not many moves that can happen after this.
right. So
But
what?
anyway,
Amore is
where are
number
we?
4. I don't know how we got there, but
we go all over the place.
Yeah.
You know how we got there. We don't know how.
play
we
Final
got there.
Fantasy 6, everybody. Play Final Fantasy 6.
And
at some
Amora
point.
said her number 4 is MK1.
The original Mortal Kombat. We talked about that earlier. Really good, fun game. And Kelsey, her number 4 is Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. We talked about that before as well.
Yep. Can't go wrong with Zelda.
Yeah. I'm not going to say too much about that because it'll come up later. What's your number 4?
Okay, here we go now. My number 4 is Majora's Mask.
Legend of Zelda, another
Legend of
Zelda game.
Majora's Mask. Now, Majora's Mask. The only thing that was so I loved the game. I had fun with the game. I went through the whole thing, putting on the different masks and getting on to the Zoras and the Boulder characters and the little first one you start off with, the little haystack guy that can fly.
Called a Deku.
Yeah, what is it?
Deku.
Deku. Yep, the Deku guys. I loved those. Like that was a fun game. The only thing that was disappointing to me about that game was fighting Majora's Mask because I fucked them up so quick. It was not even it felt anticlimactic to me how easy it was to beat the fucking Majora's Mask.
Now, I've never actually beaten Majora. I played Majora's Mask before. I never actually beaten it because it's you have the time manipulation stuff like that. You have to kind of like go.
I was
You have
so
to
into
solve
that.
stuff
Even
and
though
go
it
back
was
in
just
time
like,
and
even
restart.
though it was Ocarina of Time, but with time manipulation.
Right.
I love the shit. But I'm a Zelda guy, I fucking love that shit. But go ahead.
So there was a thing. Did you collect all the masks?
Yeah, I had
'Cause-
all the masks. I did.
Because there's a thing where you like there's like a secret, like you have to collect all the masks in order to unlock something, and you have to beat all 4 dungeons in order to like stop the moon from falling, and then you
Right.
go up into the moon, you fight
Right.
fight Majora's Mask.
And I had the mask follow me, or the moon follow me a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, at that time was a badass cutscene.
Sure, you
Fucking badass cutscene. The fucking moon coming down and just crashing into the earth and just fucking everything up.
that Majora's Mask is one of the games I would like to go back and play at some point because I never, like I said, I never actually beat it. Hopefully they'll update it because it is on the 3DS now. I think about it, but
Oh, is it?
yeah, and it's like they
See,
did.
I can't be doing these podcasts with you because you make me want to, like,
Get yourself a 3DS. They're cheap these days. And you have like the updated
are
for. They're probably really cheap. I'm not sure exactly
What's
how much.
really cheap, though?
Like within $100. I would consider
Really?
$100 pretty cheap. But
But could I play, like, Breath of the Wild on it?
no, you need a Switch for Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
That's like
'Cause I've never
200.
played Breath of the Wild, but
You should play Breath of the Wild.
I'm a Zelda guy, so
It's so good.
anytime I hear
I'm sure
Zelda-
eventually they will put like Majora's Mask and Ocarina and stuff like that
Come in
on.
here and I see Ron curled up on the couch with a fucking shit in his hand.
I won't be curled up on the couch. I'll be laid back like this. I'll try to have an alpha status while I'm playing video games. Take up space, bro. Take up space and play video games.
He got like a dumbbell on one just so you're not
Just so-
completely. Well, what? You got a problem?
I don't know what that's got to do with anything.
And just
It's funny though.
it's funny. Are we all mine now? Or
And
is it
Amora said, "I
chats?
like how our games are so close. They are. We all have like, yeah, we're all pretty similar with our interests. I think.
Your turn.
Okay.
Number 4.
My number 4 is going to be Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh,
Good choice.
I fucked up.
Because
I fucked up.
I
God.
used to play the everlasting shit out of that game.
I gotta reconfigure my whole.
Yeah.
God
Bro,
damn
that
it.
was my shit. Like
Dude,
my
mine
games are a
too.
little older, but like that's
Holy shit!
I used to love
dude.
that fucking game.
You made me completely. Man, fuck. See, like I was going through the list and I kept having these ideas and they
Yeah.
kept coming up, and like NFL Blitz wouldn't be on there, NCAA wouldn't be on there.
That's a good one.
Pokemon will be moved down. Link to the Past will be moved down.
Now,
Tony Hawk would be pretty fucking high on my list, dude. I fucked up.
Pokemon
fucked
would have
up,
been
guys.
in my honorable mentions if I wasn't trying to be.
Kelsey does say that you guys are louder than I am. I don't know if that's because I'm typically more
I
quiet,
have
but
yours turned up more, but I'm gonna turn you up even more. Just you know.
like you guys need to be turned up too.
We need to be turned up.
You guys need to be turned up more, not me. You guys. I was
okay.
fine.
I had you turned up more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So I turned us up. I turned us up even to yours then. I thought we were louder. That's why I had you turned up more.
It was probably done on purpose because I'm usually the quiet one, but.
We'll see. We'll see. Let me.
But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a good choice. I love that game. They have
That's a great game,
They
dude.
updated. They updated.
Are
They
you
have
thinking about the first one, Jimbo?
Yeah.
That's a
one
fucking
and
great-
2 are really
I was gonna
good.
say 1, 2, and 3 even.
Those were Those are my. Yeah. Fuck. I feel like an idiot.
They recently released them on like 1 and 2, an updated like remixed version of it on the PS4 and PC. They came out this year, pretty recently. I haven't really played it,
Sorry,
but
I will turn Rick down a little bit. Amora said Rick needs to be turned.
okay, I need to be turned down.
Oh man,
That
see,
doesn't happen too much.
We're gonna get the audio. We're a work in progress,
That
guys.
doesn't happen
We're
too
working.
much because usually I'm the quiet one.
Right, usually, but this time I had you turned up. I did have you turned up a good bit. So, thank you, Amora.
But my number 4, is Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid.
That's you and Larry, right?
Yeah, me and Larry both love
And
Metal
Kaz,
Gear.
if Kaz was here,
If Kaz was here, he would
loves-
love it as well.
yeah.
I'm talking about mostly the original, but I love the entire series. I don't know. I'll probably put the other ones in there as well, if I included all of them. But they just like I said before about RPGs like being story driven and stuff like that. Metal Gear Solid was the first game that wasn't an RPG I can really think of where it kind of was very cinematic and like it wasn't like it wasn't super long. Like RPGs usually take like 40 hours sometimes and beat. Like Metal Gear Solid you can beat in 8 hours. It's very quick to beat.
Just a work day.
Yeah, it's just pretty quick, but it's very like it's cinematic. It's kind of like a movie style storytelling where you're going through different scenes and stuff like that. Solid Snake is the main character, and you have like full voice acting.
But that game was one of the first ones that were like, instead of we're gonna go fuck shit up, we're gonna blow shit up, we got to be stealthy. We have to try to hide. We have to try to sneak around this little thing here and there. And because I know in some of the Zelda games, even from A Link to the Past, if you remember when you were going to find the princess at the very early in the game, you have to hide from the. Was Metal Gear Solid out before that? Did they take that from that? You think?
Well, Metal Gear Solid was actually not the first Metal Gear. Metal Gear first originally started on Nintendo.
Regular Nintendo.
There was Metal Gear, not Metal Gear Solid.
Wasn't Rainbow Six a part of that?
No.
Okay, fuck me then.
Sorry, I thought it was.
Rainbow Six is a separate.
It's Tom Clancy though, right?
Yeah.
It's all-
But Metal Gear Solid is not Tom Clancy. You might be thinking of Splinter Cell. I don't know. People compare those two. I don't mean.
Somebody doesn't know their video game knowledge. Fucking stupid, dumb shit, motherfucker.
But Metal Gear.
Sorry for the language, guys.
Metal Gear originally came out on the NES, and it was like on the Master System, Sega Master System, and stuff like that. And but it also was stealth based and stuff like that. You couldn't like
The stealth based is that's the
yeah.
like that new gaming style.
But we didn't have too many games other than Metal Gear that were like that. And for a long time, Metal Gear wasn't around. It was Metal Gear 2 came out in late 80s, and then Metal Gear Solid came out in like 98, and between there was no Metal Gear.
Right.
So I even like a lot of people's first game. My first game with Metal Gear was Metal Gear Solid. I didn't even know about the games, the original games, until I actually played Metal Gear Solid.
Well, it's like me with Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I didn't know it until I saw it online, and then you reminded me
Uh-huh.
because it was like, oh, wait a minute, yeah, there was like a regular, like running around. Double Dragon was a badass game too.
Double Dragon was pretty good.
That should have been on my runner-ups.
on the NES.
Damn it!
But Metal Gear
See,
Solid
now I'm
had
fucking
like
up.
a super good like story, had like full voice acting, which is you didn't really have too much of that back in the day.
Right.
It was actually really good voice acting, which also you didn't have back in the day. Usually, back like if you had voice acting in your video games,
It was
very
corny.
it was terrible.
It was hard to listen.
yeah. But this was actually actors over.
That's
in
why I was
this
glad that
game.
most the most of the Zelda games were not. There was no voices. It was just the acting, and then you just see the facial expressions and the emotions. That's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Well, Metal Gear Solid actually used like professional voice actors, like that would do.
That was
anime.
PlayStation, right?
Yeah, on PlayStation.
So they could place as compared to N64 and PlayStation. PlayStation had better graphics, right?
I don't know about that.
Because
but
I remember playing now because you're taking me back to the memories of Pro Skater, and Pro Skater had I remember playing N64 and Pro Skater and N64 and PlayStation, and the bull at the end, it looked like a block running like this, like it didn't have any moving body parts on the N64. It was the shits, but on the PlayStation, it actually had its arms moving, and
I'm
it
trying to
looked
think
like
of what I would say is like the best. Metal Gear Solid is probably the best looking like PlayStation game, but if you look now, it doesn't look good at all.
well,
Like obviously
right,
because
right,
things
right.
progressed, and I don't really. It's hard to say like because Zelda looked pretty good, but it also I don't know. It's tough to say which one.
It's
actually
tough to
looked
say
better.
because then again, it depends on what game you're playing and
Sure,
like the
sure.
style of play. Because Zelda, they could afford to with different things as opposed to like a Pro Skate. Because
And it
a
was
Pro
also
Skater was different.
Nintendo was kind of very serious about production and stuff like that back in those days, like production values and all that. But anyway, so
Right,
yeah, Metal Gear
right,
Solid,
right.
the entire series, great, excellent. I
Yeah.
love them. They're great.
Which number are we on now?
We're on number 3. Amora's
Alright.
number 3.
All right, Amora's number 3. Here we go, Amora. Amora wants to know what she has missed and what did we just do? Can you do a quick?
So, brief recap.
brief
We'll go
recap.
over our
Because she only has one left right now, and I don't know if this is number 1. I'll show you. That's probably her number 1, right? Because I deleted everything else, but this is the last one.
if it's her,
Let's
our
just
number
save it for one. Let's save it for her number 1
Okay.
because I don't know. Amora, if you can, instant DM me your number 1 so that I can see what your number 1 is, and then we'll go from there just so that I can make sure that we're all on the same page.
Well,
'cause I
DM
don't wanna-
Ron
I don't wanna-
Ron your top 3.
Give me your top 3. Yeah. Give me your top 3. I'm gonna do my number 3, and then we'll do Jimmy's number 3, and then hopefully the whatever the time delay
Sure.
isn't. And if you can, look at Boycat and think of how beautiful he is.
What's your number 3? No. Let me give
Kelsey's number 3.
Kelsey's number 3,
Okay.
which is Link to the Past. We talked about Link to the Past before. Excellent game.
Link to the Past. Oh, damn right, Kelsey. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you on that. And mine's not going to be very different. So my.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Ocarina of Time.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Take another guess.
The original Zelda. On NES.
Because this now obviously the original Zelda, although very rudimentary, very early in the stages of what these types of games can do and what these types of games are, I was obsessed. I remember being a kid and I was watching my Padre play it, and I was just like, holy, like, this is a fucking cool game. And then when I tried to play it, I wasn't very good at it. But I was very young at the time. What do you remember what year that game came
It was
out?
probably 86. I mean, I was.
So that was before that's before any
before
of
we
us
were
were
born.
even born. So he was probably playing it on, like,
Maybe
it was
a
an
few
older
years.
system, obviously. But still, it was still new to me. And seeing the first Legend of Zelda just hooked me right into where, I don't know what it was, but
Yeah,
it
86.
made me, it made me really, really love. I went crazy about it. And I got Amora's top 3 too. So we're good with Amora's. So tell me whenever you want to do hers. But that first game, like, oh my goodness, dude, like just knowing that, because I play Mario and I remember seeing different people play Mario, and I wasn't really. It was cool. It's a cool video game. But Zelda was a different thing. Just because like I saw him get the Master Sword, and I was like, oh shit, you can. And I didn't think, oh, you can upgrade and all that other good stuff. But to me, I was like, oh, I can get the Master Sword. I'm gonna try to get the Master Sword. That's my goal now. I'm gonna get the Master Sword, and that's a pretty good gimmick to have if you have some type of a video game and you want them to upgrade to another level. Oh man, the Master Sword. Oh,
The
you're
main
a
thing
fucking
about
Master
Zelda that
Swordsman.
was
Fuck yeah.
so good is it, like, you have a whole world you can explore, rather than like back in those days, video games were very level based, where you're kind of going through one level, you beat the level, you go on to the next level. Whereas Zelda wasn't really like that. You just were popped into the world. You kind of go up to the guy, get your sword, and you go off. You could go to like
You do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. Dungeons, and you have like different items you can find.
Yep.
And that kind of thing.
Yep.
It was,
That was what was so
true.
amazing. Like that was just what like that got me at that. That was the hook. That was the hook that drew me in. You know, and obviously, I had a little bit of trepidation putting Majora's Mask below this one, because Majora's Mask I had way more fun doing the gameplay. Because I'll play the regular Zelda now, and I will play the regular Zelda now, and I'll fuck that shit up. I know it, but. I get way better gameplay from Majora's Mask, even though, like I said, like it's easy for me to fuck up the Majora's Mask, the boss at the end. It's still like, it's just still like it's that nostalgic. It's that fucking. I don't know, man. It just gives me those memories, you know, like as a little kid.
plus those games.
It's what got me. That's what got me. Like
Zelda-
Mario was cool, but Zelda got me, dude.
Me too. I mean, for me, like going back to when I was first playing video games, like I love Mario and stuff like that. But there's nothing like in a video game. A video game should be able to do something that you can't do in real life, right? You in a video game, you can explore a world that is separate, so much different from your own world.
Yep.
And Mario is just you're going through a level, you're jumping on Goombas, but there's nothing like. And I'm gonna sound a little. What are you doing, Jimmy?
What is he doing?
I was
Don't you don't mix well with those freaking candles, Jimmy.
I was trying to get some of the wax all to the side.
But just
so
being
the
able to explore a
shit
world
would
in a
burn.
video game is like nothing. That's nothing
the
else.
shit,
That's so
though.
good. That's why
It's the shit though. I don't know if
my
if-
last three are going to be focused on exploration. I love exploration in video games, and it's one of my favorite things.
I don't know if that was the first game that let you do that type of stuff, but man, it got me.
What was Amora's number 3?
All right, Amora's number 3. Let me go here. Boom. Boom. Oh no. I got it over here. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 sec. Back over here. Boom. And her number 3 was True Crime.
True Crime was her number.
True
3.
Crime. Yep.
That was on PS2. That was actually a really good game. I remember playing. I don't remember like it super well, but I remember it was like a kind of GTA clone, but it had a different kind of story. We were playing as like a undercover cop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. And you also had like a morality meter or something, like a morality system where you
Where
kind
it would,
you
oh
if you did
yeah,
something,
where
you
it would exactly. It would help you fucking
yeah.
decide if you're making the right moves or
Right.
not.
If you're being a good guy or a bad guy.
Right.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Gran Turismo 3.
I haven't heard
A-Spec.
that in a long time either.
Gran Turismo, like
That didn't
I
hit me like
loved-
Tony Hawk, but that's
I love.
a good
Well,
one,
see,
dude.
here's the thing. I love all the Need for Speed games a lot, but Gran Turismo, it was just different gameplay than Need for Speed. Like it was more race oriented. Like
Well, what they
you
say
could
is
get
like,
into.
Need for Speed is more arcade based, right?
Yeah.
And Gran Turismo is like a sim where you're.
What do you mean a sim?
A sim. It's more. You're
Almost
kind
like a simulator, like
yeah,
a
you can kind of control different aspects of your. You can.
Oh,
change
so
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
So the decisions you make change
The
what's
end.
going to happen in.
Well, it's kind of.
That's pretty cool.
The performance of your vehicle.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
pretty
like that.
fucking cool.
yeah. It was a
that's
little more
cool.
hands on, but yeah, that
And
game.
also, the controls were more tight and stuff like that as well.
I played the fucking hell out of that, man. That was always part of my collection. So
I
and
remember
My dad
Turismo.
loved it.
I remember that
Gran
shit.
Turismo back in the day. I never really.
Gran
I've always
Turismo.
preferred the arcadey based, the more arcade based.
Oh, don't get me. Yeah, I love Need for Speed. Don't get me
Because I
wrong.
love in the arcade based games you can kind of like do crazy stuff. Like you
Yep.
can like go off the track or something like that. A lot of them, or you can just fuck with people. I
Right,
like the games where you can fuck with people. Whereas Gran Turismo is a serious racing game where you're kind of like, and for people that love it, they love those games. Sell like bonkers, but they're pretty
Like
popular.
fucking bonkers. So we're
Good-
down
Good
to.
choice. Good choice. Good choice.
Thank you.
Good choice.
See?
My number 3 is
Good shit. That is good shit.
is
Hey,
Shadow-
his like. Let's be honest though. When he started doing like the because I love the WWE. Like, let's not get wrong.
I was gonna say,
love
we're all
the
a bunch
wrestling
of-
games.
We're all a bunch of marks here, but wrestling
We're all
games
about-
aren't nowhere in our top 10. How is that?
I mean, they're different kinds of games because they're like I love wrestling games.
I love the World Tour, Revenge, like all Raw, like all those. Like I fucking love those games, but I beat the shit out of all my little brothers at them too much. So I needed more games that would like challenge me, like on the fucking computer, just
Right.
because I needed. You know what I mean? Like, because
Totally.
because the fucking multiplayer game's cool, it's fun, but it's not like when you're playing each other
Right.
and you have it's more of a challenge. The online play is fun, but oh boy,
So my number 3 is Shadow of the Colossus.
what the. Now, Rick, now you're getting in some nerdy shit.
It's nerdy as shit. This
That's
is
some nerdy shit,
a
man.
nerdy ass game. But
What
it-
is
it is an
Nerd Shadow?
amazing game, though.
What is Shadow of the Colossus?
It was on the PS2, PlayStation 2. It was exclusive to the PlayStation 2. It was actually made by.
So it's like
PlayStation.
2006 era,
2000, yeah, something
like
like
8
that.
or 9,
Yeah,
10.
something like that.
Yeah.
It was actually remade recently on the PS4, and it's really good there too. But Shadow of the Colossus is made by it's a follow-up to Ico, which was also on the PS2, and you are this character who it opens up, and you're this character. You're on this horse, and you're taking an unconscious or dead woman into this place, and you don't really know too much about what you're doing. You just know that you take her to this place, you put her on like this little thing.
Amora said, "I don't even know that game." And you know, Amora is our wrestling. She's our wrestling, not wrestling nerd. She's our video game nerd in our fucking chats. So you stumped her ass, but Kelsey came up and she said, "Oh, that is such a good game, Rit."
Shadow of the Colossus is a great game.
Shadow Colossus. Can I put on while you're explaining it? I want to put on like a little, just
Okay,
a. I'll turn the audio off, but I just want to have like a gameplay. What is it called?
IHTP.
What's that? You got to make sure everybody knows.
Me or him?
Who's going to be?
hashtag IHTP. Me? I'm getting up.
He's a dickhead, right?
Yeah.
Why are you coughing? Are you dying? You better not be dying on me, man. I need you, Jimmy. I need you. I'm gonna put some gameplay.
We're pulling up
It's
gameplay
like a
of Shadow of
walkthrough
the
for
Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. Because I'm not familiar with it, and I'm actually interested in
What it is.
yeah, and see what we got
Everybody
here
should, because it's
because this seems like a deep cut right here.
it is.
This
A
seems
little
like,
bit- I mean, it's not like a super deep cut because it is one of most people that are into video games would like
Mhm.
connoisseurs and people that are like, they journalists and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pundits.
Right.
They would
All
put Shadow of the Colossus on their top
So let me
games.
boom. We'll set this scene up.
I'm looking
Now I
at
got
that
Shadow of the Colossus.
computer.
It's going to take a couple of minutes. No, sorry,
We're
buddy.
giving it. We're pulling it up. So
Do you recognize this spot right here?
this is Shadow of the Colossus.
Mhm.
Let me
You-
let
you-
me
yeah,
find
you
a-
do-
let me
you do
find
it,
a
you do
good
it. You're
spot
better,
to
yeah.
go.
You have a better
And-
idea. The sound is good, guys, right?
So this is the PS4 version, by the way, which is an updated version of. So this is what it looks like when you're playing the game. You're just one little dude, and you're running through the world. And what you're basically doing, there's no enemies in the world. You're going from one place to another to fight these colossus.
Because in Zelda,
Let me
this reminds me of Zelda because as
Yeah.
you're running through, you're gonna
You're fighting
you're
enemies
gonna
and stuff like that.
encounter enemies all the damn time.
So we're gonna get to where you actually run into the first Colossus.
And that's okay, Amora. We'll play some sound whenever we get to your stuff.
And I know that the it's probably choppy a little bit, but this is what a Colossus looks like. That's what you have to kill. That's you right there. That's
Do you have like a bunch of Colossuses that you have to?
Yeah. There's
Shadow of the Colossus
There's
is
16 of them.
oh shit!
And all this game is you're fighting these 16 Colossus.
But
and
you have to find your way there. You have to find your way to get to them.
You have this like the sword. You can kind of you saw him. He held it up earlier, and it was kind of like you saw a beam come from it, and that's kind of directing you as to where you're supposed to go. And basically, you're just riding your horse or climbing up this stuff, and you're kind of looking for where you're supposed to get to fight the Colossus. I want to get to the actual where you kind of.
I'm just trying to get it out of your face. I'm sorry. I'm
So that you're going to see the reveal of the Colossus here. And I know the video is probably choppy on the stream, so, but you can kind of get an idea what's going on.
Amora said one little dude, huh? Yeah, right.
And that's what you have to kill that guy as this little guy. And
do the different Colossuses have a different like strategy for you to take them out?
Yeah.
So like what worked for one isn't going to work for. So
Right.
It's not going to get boring because you have to.
This
This is why this is number 3.
Yeah. It's really it's number 3 also because like there's a thing like why
So you're running behind them right now.
basically you're killing this Colossus because you want to save your girlfriend. That's pretty much the idea. Or we don't really know what the relationship.
That's
between
a
this
good
guy.
motivation.
Yeah.
Girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever you like.
But they're
that's
completely innocent in this.
Yeah.
The only thing that you got,
circles. I would save a circle.
Yeah.
I would save a circle or a square.
So this is what
Not
you're
a
doing.
not a. I'm
this
not
is-
going to save a triangle though.
Watch. This
Okay,
is what you're
okay.
doing. You have to climb up the Colossus, find his weak spot, and just and stab it.
So
And
they're stabbing the back of his
stab-
knee. That's legit the worst part. This Colossus. Oh damn! He
And
took
he
him out that
goes down.
easily.
You're not done yet. You have to climb up and then find his other weak spot, and then stab him in the head or something like that.
No shit. Amora said, "Poor men." Yeah, but we do it for you, Amora. We do it for you. Well, it's true. It's like you want to impress her, right? She's not going to be impressed if you just show up with some McDonald's. She's going to be like, if you killed a Colossus, yeah.
The story
come
in
here.
this game is very minimalist. There's not a whole lot of dialogue or anything like that. Basically, you go to this shrine that's supposed to be sealed off for a long time. This is all conjecture you get in the game. And there's this ancient devil or a god or something like that who we don't really know who he is. But
This is the first Colossus.
yeah, this is the first
This
one.
is a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
Is that why that's glowing? So it lets you know, stab him in the
That's
head?
where you have to stab him, yeah. And that's the thing
Is
about
it hard though? Is he trying? So okay, so
It's
he's
not
just trying
super.
to shake you off.
The thing about this game is not super difficult or anything like that. There's you can put it on hard mode or something like that, but it's really the same thing.
You always have to stab them in the head.
You have to stab them wherever it glows. It's not always the head though.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it's different. Something.
And Amora said, "I feel sorry for poor men go through so much for their video games for women in every video game." That's true. Well, that's a man's fantasy is going through hell to get your woman. Like you earned that woman. You earned that woman, right, Rick?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
In a weird way, because that's a weird thing that men are attracted to, because they're like, man, I gotta prove myself. I gotta prove myself to this woman, and she ain't gonna be impressed.
But these days
you take that thing out though.
you took them out, and then you can hear the music. If we were to have it up, the music is very melancholic. It's not like you're not celebrating this victory. You're kind of
He feels bad about it, kind of like Superman in that one movie.
You're not. This isn't a victory that you're celebrating or anything like that. So we're hearing the guy talk. So we don't need to worry about that. Let's.
Yeah, they turned it down. Yeah.
But if you were to hear the music, it's very melancholic. It's not like you're not celebrating this victory or anything like that. You're just doing this so you can get your girlfriend back and hopefully be okay at the end. Well, which spoilers, you're not going to be okay at the end. But
Amora in the chat said, maybe I should go and get lost then. Yes, darling. We will track your ass down and we will save you.
So that's the first
100%.
Colossus in Shadow of the Colossus. You have to fight 16 of them. Some of them get, like, you fight flying Colossus. And stuff
Right.
like, so you have to, like, get the Colossus to come, which is one of my favorites, because this came out on PS2 originally.
Oh my goodness!
And
they put an ad in here.
We can get rid of it. Don't worry about it.
All right, so we don't
We're-
need it
We're
anymore.
done.
We're good with that. Okay.
And then you have to, like, kind of you're flying on the Colossus. The Colossus fly. You're climbing on it, and you have to find its weak spot and stuff like
A
that.
flying Colossus?
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
it's crazy.
It's badass. It's a badass
got, like,
concept,
such
though.
a
I fucking love the concept of it, though.
It's got such a sense of scale, which most games a lot of games don't have, and you can't really experience anywhere else. So a sense of, like, you're a small person in this big world, and you're fighting these gigantic creatures.
Right.
Which, where can you get that? Nowhere else. Nowhere.
Right. Nobody else has that type of gimmick going on. Anyway, at least. That's pretty fucking badass, though.
So Shadow of the Colossus, one of my top 3 favorite games of all time.
Yep. Are we ready for number 2?
Number 2 for Amora.
All right, let's go Amora. Amora, we got your number 2 coming up. And she gave me a playlist just in case we're not familiar. I'm sure you're probably familiar, Rick, because you have a fucking crazy brain for this type of stuff. Let me get this ready. Echo Knight is her number 2.
I actually don't know what Echo Knight is.
All right, so I'm gonna get this. All right, let me
It
get this
sounds
ready.
familiar, but I'm not like super
All right,
familiar with it.
Amora. Okay, Amora. Let me hold on, Jimmy. Can we give
What?
Amora some claps because Rick is not familiar with this game, and this is the first ever game that we've seen Rick not being familiar with.
Fucking idiot. Yeah, I know.
All right, so Amora, good job.
I'm supposed to be Rick the Gamer,
First
but I
of
don't
all,
know
right,
shit.
You were supposed to be Rick the Gamer, brother. What the fuck happened? All right, let me copy this on over to the Google Chrome. Boom.
Rick the You Don't Know Shit.
Hey, at least now you know, right?
I am curious about what Echo Knight is, though.
Alright, so now, Amora, if you can give us a quick little synopsis, if you have an idea of what,
Let's just
you
look
said,
at
hey,
the-
a stomp for a stomp. That's pretty good. Alright, let's see. Stomp for a stomp.
What is the
Where's
noise
the
coming
audio?
from there?
Where's the audio? I might have some audio. Let me cut these two out. Oh, that one.
That's still playing.
Yeah, that's still playing. Okay, now we'll go to the Google Chrome because everything else is turned off. And let me turn this back on. Just want to cut to this scene over here, 1913. And I'm going to turn the audio up because Amora did say that it won't make sense without the audio. So I'm going to put my microphone over here for that. And let's get a little bit of an idea of what this is. Here's a trailer for
Echo Knight.
Echo 19.
So far, it's just music. Never failed.
Oh, From Software game. I'm just making sure my audio is good. Audio is good now. Amora's number 2, by the way. Amora's number 2. We have to give her a little bit of time, you know? A minute 14. Not too long. Not too bad. Not too bad. Make sure this comes in here. Are we frozen?
It looks like that's frozen over there.
I think it's frozen. All right, let's see here.
We've been having trouble. I've noticed when we go back and we have trouble with the picture.
You know what
picture.
So the best
I really
thing
think it might be the computer, honestly.
it is. So whenever we look forward to videos and these types of things, the best thing that we can do is download them and then have it set as a media.
Sure.
And then set the media.
Right.
Because the internet is it's been too glitchy here recently. So I'm sorry guys if you guys are not getting it. Maybe you can get the sound.
But we're not going to worry about that. I got an idea of what it is. It looks like
Yeah.
it's very much it's kind of like a horror vibe to it.
And if you could give us a little bit of an idea of what it is, Amora, that'll help us out.
You might want to hold that. Oh, Jesus. We're having all kinds of issues right now, guys. But yeah, Echo Knight, From Software, I know. From Software, they make the Dark Souls games.
Right.
Which that seems like, it definitely looks like Dark Souls inspired, like, kind of, I could see the progression from there to Dark Souls. Which this came out on PS1.
It's a Dark Souls type game though. It's from
no,
the
it
same
doesn't look
makers?
like it's from the same makers, but they make all kinds of different games too. But
Did they make that earlier, or is that?
yeah, that's before Dark Souls. This is PS1. Dark Souls didn't come out till PS3. But it looks interesting. I would definitely like to check it out.
She said so. It's a ship game basically.
It looked
We
like
see
you were on a
nothing, by the
ship.
way.
And
Yeah, sorry guys. My computer's getting a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. So it's
Yeah.
a 2015 MacBook Pro, so it can only do so much until we.
We're gonna do our best to kind of.
We're gonna do.
I want to try to get a new computer at some point, but
Yeah.
that's
We're making it work as well as we
Yeah.
can right now. So
I definitely
bear
want to look
with
more
us.
into Echo Knight. I'm
Yep.
definitely going to do that. But Kelsey's number 2 is
Well, hold on. Morris said you have to escape a ship full of ghosts and to set the ghosts free. The demons are there as well and as calm as ghosts.
That's
So
pretty,
there's
pretty interesting. Sounds
it
interesting.
sounds interesting. It sounds like a fascinating game to be able to go through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what we got now, Rick?
Kelsey's number 2 is Portal. Portal was a big deal when it came out because it came out in the orange box, which was Half-Life 2, and I think the original Half-Life was also in there, and also Team Fortress. But it was Portal came out exclusively on the orange box, and the idea of Portal. Do you know what Portal is, Jimmy? You know what Portal is. Didn't you play Portal? Didn't you say you played it before?
I've played it before. One of my old roommates had it, but because I remember orange and blue.
Mm-hmm. You got
I remember.
So what you do is you have the portal gun, and you kind of, in order to move around and the idea is like you're in this like little testing facility, and you're being tested by this AI named Gladys, and
Which I'm pretty sure was like my grandmother's best friend's name.
may have been.
Gladys does sound like
May
an
have.
old people's name.
But you have the portal gun where you shoot a red portal or an orange portal and a blue portal, and you have to in order to solve different puzzles and stuff like that. And yeah, and eventually you kind of like learn more about like what's going on, and Gladys becomes more like evil and stuff like that, and not really. She's just testing you. She doesn't look at you as a human. She's looking at you as a test subject, and she's a machine herself. She's an AI.
She doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, and then eventually you get to a point where you use the portal gun to kind of get into like the guts of the facility and stuff like that, and you're kind of sneaking past and trying to figure out what's going on, and you're trying to escape. And Portal, it's a short game. You can beat it in like 2 hours, but it's really good. And Portal 2 is amazing as well. That should have been on my list actually, or at least an honorable mention. Portal 2 I prefer, because it takes the concept of Portal and expands on it. It's like a full like 8-hour, 10-hour game, and you have so much more, and it's kind of like, it's really good. I love Portal.
Sounds pretty badass. Number 2. All right, so we're gonna go back to Amora's number 2, which is Echo Knight.
We did that. Echo Knight. Well, it's your number 2.
Oh, True Crime was her number 3 then. Did we do True Crime?
Yep.
We did that.
We did all that.
Okay, so now it's my number 2 then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 2 is Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina, finally, we have to do it.
It was Ocarina of
coming
Time.
eventually.
Oh, what
It's
is it?
definitely Ocarina of Time. Zelda
Oh.
Ocarina of Time. So it was the first N64 Zelda game, and I'm trying not to get too personal on this stuff. So we moved into a new house, or trailer, whatever, and there was an N64 there,
Yeah.
and there was only 2 games. It was Zelda, and it was another game. I don't even remember what it was. But I remember being a big fan of the regular N64, or the regular Nintendo games. This was before I found the Nintendo Super, because I actually played the Super Nintendo one on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, right.
So that was how I actually fell in love with
Link to Past.
Link to the Past was on the Game Boy Advance. It wasn't on the Super Nintendo. It was on the Game Boy Advance. So my jump from Zelda was from the regular Zelda to the N64 Zelda.
That must have blown your mind.
Oh my God! My mind was. I was just like, boom! Like, what the fuck? This is the same. It's the same. It's the same game. Like
Same
the
idea.
Same fucking concept. The same fucking concept. The same idea. But
The only thing that I do think that Ocarina does better, the reason I don't really like the original Zelda too much is it doesn't really guide you too well.
yeah,
Ocarina,
yeah.
Ocarina, you know where you're supposed to
You
go
have
and that kind
Navi
of thing.
there, like, hey,
Yeah, tell
Hey!
you, go here. This is where you're supposed
hey,
to go, motherfucker.
you're supposed to go here. What are you doing?
Like you can do whatever you want, go
Yep.
wherever you want,
Yep.
but you have. This is where you're
But she's
supposed to
gonna
go.
say, hey.
Yeah, and you have all kinds
Hey.
of like. Yeah, I love Ocarina.
Yep.
I
The
love
Ocarina of Time that would just blew my mind, dude. I was just in all those different worlds, and I can be in those different worlds. Oh my God, that was what I wanted. That was what I was looking for, even though I didn't know that I was looking for it. It was the fucking shit.
Do you remember getting all three? You at the beginning, you get all three of the little things. You have to, and then you take it to the Temple of Time. You open that Temple of Time, and then you go into the.
And then you
future.
become an adult.
You become adult Link. That shit
become
was
an adult.
crazy. Because then you have to.
Because once you become an adult, then you really fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And then you, but
But the world is, because
It's
Ganon is in
fucked
charge.
up.
The
The world is there's zombies coming
Yeah.
around, and they'll fucking grab you and hump you. they'll jump on you and just.
I remember you have to go into the graveyard, and there's
Yep.
like a dungeon in
Yep.
there.
And you gotta dig up graves. You gotta
Mhm.
dig up graves. You gotta do all kinds of dirty shit in that fucking game, man. They got all kinds of crazy shit for you.
So Ocarina used to be my number one, but because of Breath of the Wild, this is why I want you to play Breath of the Wild now. Like I know you're a big Zelda fan
Yeah.
now, so I need you to play
Yeah, I
Breath of the
know.
Wild. Breath of the Wild is now replaced for me Ocarina, because as much as I love Ocarina, Breath of the Wild kind of took the formula for Zelda and just turned it on its head. It's so good. What's your number two?
My number two is, and this counts because it used to be, well, okay, I don't want to speak like I know what I'm talking about. Sims.
Yeah.
And I know maybe wouldn't be on a lot of people's list, but like, dude, back in the day,
I've honestly
Sims, though.
some people do.
I
Sims were
loved
huge.
the fucking
Yeah.
Sims, dude. Like all that, it was almost like you could create your own fucking world. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like what? Like your own. Then you could fuck with them. You know what I mean? Like I would always do stupid shit and fuck with them. But I'd
That's the
put
point.
I'd put the toilet next to the stove or something, and then like they'd be using the bathroom and then eating. And then I wouldn't put any trash cans in the house or something. There'd be trash everywhere. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put a bed anywhere, and they'd just like, and then they just fall down and sleep.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but like when you really started getting serious, like all the shit you could build and. I don't know.
Did they
it
get
was
sleep exhaustion or anything like that?
yeah, oh yeah. I would kill them all the time. That was like a goal, but but it was just
kill 'em.
it was a lot. I
Fuck
mean,
'em.
that was
Go
my
alive.
that was my shit, man. Sims.
Actually,
fucking
I've honestly
shit,
never
though.
played a Sims game. My friend, I had a friend from high school that loved her some Sims, and I always kind of wanted to, because she played it, and I kind of wanted to play it because she played it.
I mean, and they're still around too. You
Yeah,
know what I
people
mean? So
play.
it's like
Yeah.
One thing about
it's
Sims these days is
exactly.
they have so much DLC for those games, and it's like they get super, like you have to pay like over $100 in order to get all the DLC that they add, all the different
Yeah.
like, costume packs and all that.
but like back in the day, you didn't really have too much of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a
they
little
came
more
out with
simpler.
expansions, but it wasn't as bad
Yeah,
as it was now.
yeah, I do. I do remember buying some of the expansion packs,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
I would
that's
like to play Sims at some point.
that's
Like
my
maybe
number
we
two.
could sit down and do like a Sims stream or something like that.
That'd be cool.
I'd play Sims.
Let's do it.
That'd be cool.
My number two is Journey. Journey.
The band? Don't stop.
See, we keep doing this. Because we've talked about Journey before.
Hold on to that feeling.
We've talked about Journey before, and it's. I love the band Journey. Yes, and they came out with a great. They had some songs
Especially
like
now they
Guitar
have a
Hero
hot
back in
Asian
the day.
singer. So
But Journey, the video game, we've talked about. You basically are dropped into a desert, and you see on the horizon. You're pretty much told like there's this light in the middle of two peaks, and that's your goal. Just go there. That's all you
Go to
gotta
the
do.
light. Follow the light.
Follow the light, and you're just this little dude, and you're walking through, and you eventually it's online, Like, so eventually you're walking through and you get to a point, and then you can run into other players that are, you don't know who they are. You don't have no way of actually like speaking with them, like as far as being a person. Like you don't know what their name is or anything like that. You just see another person that's another person in the world doing the same thing you are, trying to get to the same place. So you can kind of like, it's more the thing about being together. It's more like a mental thing. So you have you both are going through this journey together.
Right.
Like there's no real way to kind of like help each other. Like you can jump a little higher. It doesn't really help you or anything like that.
Right.
So you're just like two people that are going together and going up and then eventually you get to a point where you're going through like, a blizzard and stuff like that. So you can kind of like, it's kind of nice to know that you have someone you're going through these tribulations with, and they're right there with you. And there's so many things you can take from like what the world is trying to tell you and the story in it. And like people say it's like you're going to heaven. Is what the peak is heaven. That's where you're trying to get to.
Right.
And you got to go through all this stuff in order to get there. And I know some people who have like an emotional journey with this game. It's called Journey, because there was one podcast I was listening to where it was like the Shuhei Yoshida, who is like the leader of Sony PlayStation Worldwide Studios or something like that. He's very popular as far as like PlayStation fans and stuff like that. Like, and he told a story where his grandmother or something, or his mother had passed away. And he played Journey and kind of like helped him get over that because of the story of him. You're going through this, and eventually you get to a point where you get to the peak, and then you go through like the blizzard, and then you pass out in the blizzard. I'm kind of spoiling your journey, which kind of is fucked up, but
It's bad,
but you get to a point where you pass out in the blizzard, and you wake back up, and you're in this like wondrous place, and you're flying up to the peak, which is heaven, and it's kind of like it helps him come to terms with it, and it's just like, but there's no words or in the game. It doesn't tell you anything. You kind of just get what you want from it. Like it doesn't really tell you a whole lot, and it's not like action or anything like that. You can beat it in 2 hours. It's $15, so it's not like it's not breaking a bank or anything like that. It's just a game that everybody should play, and it's like, it's just a great experience. I love it. Love that game. Anyway, and it's also Kelsey's number one. So
perfect.
Kelsey's number one is Journey.
It's Journey. All right.
Yep.
Let me see what Amora's number one is. Are you ready? Yeah. Amora's number one is True Crimes in the Streets of LA.
No. We did that before. What was the one that she sent you?
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia just came out, didn't it? Is that their
Phasmophobia?
That's the one that. Okay, that's a new game. That's actually, I played that for the first time recently.
Really?
If it's the same one I'm thinking of.
Phasmophobia. What is it about? Have you seen what it was about?
Yeah, I played it the other night. For the first time. It's like it's an online game.
She already loves it.
Where you and like you go into these haunted houses, and there's a ghost in there, and you have to figure out what kind of ghost it is and that kind of thing. And it's a cool idea. It'd be fun. That'd be a fun game for us to play together.
Up close and way too personal.
The Bridge Wallet for real is my type of wallet. Once you get used to a wallet like this,
that's really loud.
I'm gonna switch it over, but if it doesn't work, like maybe.
See, it's choppy like that. It's choppy like that on the stream too.
It's gonna be choppy.
We're gonna be doing this a little differently. I believe that the developer should definitely create a system where one person should stay in the caravan at all times. Oh my god, I'm just gonna
Let's mute that so we can just watch it and talk.
Oh my god.
So we're looking at some Phasmophobia
It's very
gameplay.
dark already.
It's dark. You have to use these different like gadgets in order to kind of like figure out what kind of ghost is haunting you, and you have to kind of figure out what is. You find different clues.
Is that a different game?
The one. Yeah, Kelsey. That's Kelsey. Yeah, I played that with her.
Okay.
And it's really fun. It's a fun game. I like to play it some more. It'd be a fun game for us to play.
Really? It's a fun game?
And it's like you take different gadgets into the house to kind of like find different clues as to what kind of ghost it could be. Like, we're doing good ghost hunting, talk about that for a long ass time. This is what we need to be doing. This is a video game about ghost hunting. It's pretty much the same thing. You have different gadgets and stuff like that. You have like a UV light that you would be finding like different fingerprints and stuff like that. and depending on what clues that there are, it indicates it's a different kind of ghost and that kind of thing. There's like wraiths, there's demons, there's all kinds of different stuff. It's
Well, I
pretty
need
cool.
to see these I need to see this anyway, so that I can. I'll be more prepared for ghost hunting when I fuck those ghosts up.
We fucking some ghosts up.
Fuck their fucking faces up and shit.
Kelsey said she would love to see us play that game. That'd be fun. We'll
do it. We'll
do
definitely
that.
do it. We have to do it. We have to do it because it looks like something that would be right up our alley anyway.
But yeah, Phasmophobia is a cool game. Cool game.
And that's Amora's number 1.
Number 1. It's fairly recent. Came out. So I'm definitely.
But it's that good because it's just fucking.
It's fun.
It's addictive.
I haven't played it too much. I would like to play it some more, but.
Well, you played.
I could
Seems
definitely
pretty,
see that where it would be addictive and why it would be someone's number 1. Yeah.
And Amora said it goes by what you say too.
Yeah, you have to talk to the ghost and stuff like that, and they'll respond to you and all that.
Sorry guys, we just got an ad. Of course, it's YouTube, you know.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you only have a flashlight.
You have a flashlight. You have a UV light as well. That's one of the gadgets you can have, where you can kind of see like fingerprints, or if you see a fingerprint, it's a clue as to what kind of ghost it is. Or you can use like a thermometer that will tell you if it's freezing in this area. Then it's freezing temperatures means there's a ghost of a certain type around, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you can beat that though. That's pretty badass. It seems like let me go forward a little bit. A little bit more. Yeah, so you're really just trying to look out for things in the dark. And Shamala said, "Oh, mommy, no ghost talk at night, please. I cannot sleep." Sorry, Shamala. We didn't know what we were getting into, but hey, we're almost there at the end anyway, as it is. So we're
good
there.
with this. We've seen what the basic gist of it is.
Yeah,
It would definitely be a fun game for us to play together.
Yeah, we definitely got to check that out.
But now we're at Ron's number 1.
My number 1 is well, did we do Amora's number 1?
Yeah, we just talked. That's what Phasmophobia was.
Phasmophobia. Okay, cool. And you got Kelsey's number 1?
Yeah. Well, we talked about that was Journey.
Okay, cool. So my number 1 is a PC game. It is Age of Empires 2: The Age of Kings. I want to do the definitive edition because I haven't been able to play that. But if you're not familiar with that type of a game, if you're not familiar with Age of Empires, it is it's what type of a strategy? It's some type of a strategy.
Real-time
game.
strategy.
Maybe a real-time strategy, where you have to gather up certain types of resources, and you have to. But it depends on the strategy that you have. If you want to rush them early, you have different stages in time that you have. You have the Dark Age, you have the medieval age, you have the Castle Age, then you have the I don't remember the last age, but you have like all these different ages that you can go into. And by the time you get to the last age, that's where you have gunpowder. That's when you have all these different types of weapons. So as you go throughout the different ages, your weapons get better. So you start off with a barracks, and you start off with a little militiaman, and he has a stick with a big old fucking nail in it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get older, then you get to the Middle Ages, and then you have a sword.
Mm-hmm.
And then your swords get better. You get a man-at-arms, and you get better. And then you get a two-handed swordsman, and then you get a champion swordsman. Or you, like, if you have and you can have different civilizations. So you have different civilizations throughout the world who have had different warriors from those different time periods. So if you have the Aztecs, you have Jaguar warriors. If you have the Japanese, you have samurai. If you have South Koreans or North Korean, if you have Koreans, they have the war wagons. If you have Chinese, they have the Chonu-Konus, which are they don't shoot bow and arrow, but they're what's the word? Crossbow. They're crossbowmen, but they can shoot like 4 arrows at a time.
Oh.
They go boom, 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 and they shoot 4 arrows at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 20 of them, you just shoot fucking
A whole bunch.
it's raining arrows on the motherfuckers. It's fucking awesome. If you have like different did it
No, I'm saying fix your angle. It doesn't. You're not.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
showing me. Sorry guys. Yeah, now I think that I fixed it now. Okay, I'm back in it now. Yeah, so but like the crazy thing is like each one of those different types of
They don't want to see
advancements.
him. They want to see me looking at him. That's
Right. Each one of those different advancements have different variables that'll be better against different different I
Like
guess
you- yeah.
civilizations.
Yeah.
You call them civilizations.
It's like
They're
a rock-
races,
like a
but they're
rock, paper,
different
scissors kind of
civilizations.
thing?
They're like, you know, they're like different. They're from different time spans, and they're fucking the Spanish. They have their guns. The Spaniards. They have their guns. They have their.
Does it have like a rock paper scissors kind of like system where like some weapons will be good against other weapons and that kind of thing, and
then some
different
will not be as good
Yeah,
as
yeah,
others,
yeah.
and like, but it depends on the civilization.
Uh-huh.
But if you have a civilization, there will be different tools that you have within your civilization that will offset the advantages that they have, but you have to be aware of it. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that I really like about it. If you are aware of those variables that will give you the advantage in those civilizations, then it's like chess. If you're a chess player, you know these pieces can do these pieces, but now I'm playing somebody who also knows what these pieces can do, and now we're trying to figure out, okay, so my pieces can do this, their pieces can do this. How can I get my pieces to work against their pieces without them fucking my pieces up, or me fucking their pieces up, but then them get me at the end anyway, because they could fucking swarm in and get me. And you also have to, like, people can trade on each other. People can be like, you can be an ally with someone's civilization, but then you can trade on their civilization, and then you can go to somebody else's civilization, and it's all kinds of different fucking things that you can do.
We might need to get rid of those arms. I'm just gonna say that. We just might need to get just more of these stands and just be good with it. Like,
Yeah, because this is getting ridiculous. This is just ridiculous.
I have played Age of Empires. I don't remember it too much. I've definitely played like other RTS and that kind of things. Like
To this day, that's why it's my number one, because all those other games are interesting. They're cool. I could go through the Zelda games. But I've already played them before. I've played this game before, but I haven't played you. But I haven't played the way that this person plays. Because now, like, if they catch me with some shit that I wasn't thinking about, now, oh my god, now I have to think about the way that they're doing. And now I have to put my walls up at a different time. Now I have to try to defend myself in a different way. But if I defend myself in that different way and they decide to not come after me at a different... Now I'm fucking myself up because
Right.
now I don't have the resources for later. So it's all kinds of different things that I like about it. That game, like... It's like chess to me. Like, people can play chess and play it over and over and over again. I can play that game over and over and over again. It doesn't get older because I know the chess moves. I know the pieces. I know what they do. I know the variables. But still, it's always different whenever you're playing somebody else.
for sure.
You know?
Because everybody has different strategies and stuff like
Everybody
that.
has a different strategy. That's my number one because it just gives me...
You might like Civilization. You ever heard of that
Yep.
series?
Yep,
That's
I've heard of Civilization. Yep. It's not as fast paced. That's the only problem.
Yeah,
'Cause I
that's-
tried to play it, but it's not.
Civilization
as
is turn based rather than
Right,
yeah.
right.
So it's like you'll take your turn, but nobody's actually doing something while you're doing
right
something.
because
so-
somebody can raid me in the Dark Ages,
Right.
and I can be like, "Oh, what the." You motherfucker! Now I gotta change the way. I gotta change everything that I was gonna do now because
Did you
now
ever play
you're
like
coming after me.
StarCraft or anything like that?
Yep, it's same.
Same idea.
Similar.
Yeah,
very similar. Yep.
People
yep.
love them some
StarCraft.
StarCraft.
Yep. And there was another game that I played that was like military based, and it
Probably like-
used military technology, but it wasn't like old. Same thing. Same type of thing. You have to protect your base. You have to protect your king. And there's so many side games that they can do.
I
that-
remember playing Age of Wonders, which is kind of similar to
Same,
that.
yep.
Which,
There's
except for Age of
so
Wonders
many,
had like
dude,
you know
there's so
gods
many
and stuff
games.
like that
Yep,
as well.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Yep. They have the Age of Mythology,
Yeah.
which has all the different, but it's the same type of game. Same type of game. You're just gathering your resources. You're trying to build up your army to a certain point, but you're also allowed heroes. So you don't get heroes in Age of Empires 2. You get you get like special units. And the special units are like the samurai, or you know whatever the Chonikonus, or the Jaguar warriors, or whatever the case may be. Whatever civilization you have, they have like most, not all, obviously, not all civilizations, but they have a lot of civilizations covered, and that's just one of the This is one of my favorite games, and it's a PC game, so it's not even any of these normal games that most people play. But man, I still love that fucking game. I'm still like, I'll still watch like strategy ideas, YouTube, videos and stuff, just to fucking get an idea of like, okay, next time I play, I can try this and just see how it goes with this different civilization.
You should stream Age of Empires at some point.
I want to. Yeah, that's part of the plan. But I need to get a better.
Yeah, gotta get a better PC,
setup.
sure.
Yeah, gotta get a better setup.
Good. I want to see you play Age of Empires.
Yeah, dude, I love it, dude.
I want to play Age of Empires now.
I fucking love it.
What's your number one?
All right, my number one, since nobody else wants to do it, I'll be the fucking one to do it because I'm telling you, this is my number one. And I'm going to show you guys a picture just for the nostalgia. It's my number one for the nostalgia. It's a PS1 game, WWF SmackDown. The first
The original SmackDown?
The original. Now, in retrospect, obviously, that game looks horrible. But back in the day, I remember playing. Okay, so that's the fucking cover. You guys remember that cover?
Of course.
So I remember the little jewel case that it fucking came in, or if you want to show it, that'd be closer. The little like jewel case that it came in, your typical CD type case. I remember I just, for some reason, looking at that like image, I can remember like the feeling of that case and how banged up it was because I had it for so long. And like the little book inside, like I can remember how all that feels. And I know it's weird to say, but
It's not though. That's nostalgia right there.
Yeah, but like that game, dude, like I think that was the one. Aside from like WWF No Mercy back in the day, of course, it was almost like that was almost my number one, but it just didn't hit me the same way like that WWF SmackDown did.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, dude, like those gameplay was shit. Graphics were shit.
But at the time,
back in the day, it was amazing.
I do prefer No Mercy was really good, but people love that game so much. But SmackDown was probably my favorite of the preferred out of those two because No Mercy was on 64, and then SmackDown was on PlayStation.
Yeah. So,
but I actually like the second one because the second one was what introduced Creator Wrestler. And I remember, I remember just sitting there for hours, like
totally, me too.
Would just be making my own wrestlers.
Yeah,
and stuff
just
like that.
creating a fucking wrestler.
Exactly.
I love that, especially when back in the days.
You create yourself.
You know what I love so much? I love nowadays like a good like term that a lot of guys use when they see like jobbers on TV or just jobbers in general, and they look so generic, and they'll be like, "Yeah, there goes a fucking creator wrestler right there." Like they refer to them as creator wrestler. And or when their gimmick is just so fucking cheesy, it's like, dude, there's a fucking creator wrestler.
There's a creator wrestler.
I think it's funny as shit. 100%. But no, yeah, definitely the second one is awesome. But I don't know. That's my number one because just for the fucking nostalgia and that like introduced, and then a honorable mention to my number one, if I could, the original Raw is War for the first Xbox, because I remember when I got when I got the Xbox, I got it for my birthday. My grandmother got it for me. She only let me get one game at the time. She only let me get one game, and then I begged her to let me buy a second controller because I'm like, it only comes with one. I want to play with my friends. So I had to beg her to let me get an extra controller. So she let me get Raw, and then she let me get the extra controller, and that was a good time. But yeah, I don't know. But those games. But if I had to pick one, it'd be SmackDown. So
yeah,
that's my that's my number one. If I had to actually pick a favorite game, it's hard to pick a favorite game of all time. It's almost like saying pick your favorite song of all time. Like maybe a game might be a little easier to do than a song, but you get my point. Like it's hard to narrow everything down to what your absolute favorite game of all time is because there's so many.
It is.
Yep.
But you did it.
Yay, me.
And I did it as well. Mm-hmm. I've talked about my number one so much.
Let's hear your number one more time.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath
See,
of the
that's
Wild.
why I gotta fuck with Breath of the Wild. See,
Legend of Zelda. Breath
that's
of the Wild.
that's not a surprise because we knew Breath of the Wild was gonna be it. But fuck, man.
It is an amazing game. Has a sense of scale similar to Shadow of the Colossus.
You can't beat that.
Shadow of the Colossus definitely influenced Breath of the Wild in a lot of ways.
Really?
Yeah, because like that sense of scale was like not really heard of before. Like this idea where you're just a small guy and you're fighting these gigantic enemies, which there's not a ton of those in Breath of the Wild. There's some of them where you have to, and you can climb everywhere in Breath of the Wild as well. And the climbing mechanics are a big part of like the combat and all that. And yeah, Breath of the Wild is just like
You can't beat that.
it's too good.
You can't beat it.
Too good. It's changed video games. Like there's no video game that will ever. I don't think like for me there's
Breath of the Wild's that good.
Every once in a while there's a video game that comes out and it changes like the way I feel about video games at that point where I'm like, for me Dark Souls was that game for a long time. Before Breath of the Wild, Dark Souls was it.
Yeah.
Because it changed like the way I look at video games. And in Breath of the Wild now, it's like I'm still looking for a game to kind of like give me that feeling of exploration. Pure exploration more than anything else is why I love Breath of the Wild. Because
it's so open.
It's so open.
Yeah.
There's so many things to discover, which aren't even like doesn't even need to be much of a reward at the end of the tunnel. It's like you can get a weapon that you'll use for a bit and then it'll break and you lose it. But I
used to hate that on Majora's Mask when you got the really big, the
great giant sword. Yeah,
the giant sword, and that fucking thing would break because it was so badass, but it would break.
Eventually, you could get it upgraded so it wouldn't break.
Yep.
But yeah, Breath of the Wild, so good.
Breath of the Wild's legit.
They're coming out with the second Breath of the Wild as well.
See, I might have to catch up. I might have to. That might be the game that might get me back, man. That might get me back. Fucking man, come on.
Have you seen like any YouTube videos of Breath of the Wild or anything?
Yeah, I've seen them.
There's like,
of course.
Like
it looks amazing.
Like one of the first things you see is like Link running out of the tunnel, and it's like you see it just does like a wide shot of the world, and it's like. And at first you're on the Great Plateau, and even the Great Plateau itself is like big enough, but you're stuck there for a bit. So you have to get your first the abilities you can use, because unlike other Zeldas, whereas like the original Zeldas were all like dungeons, and you'd go through a dungeon, you'd get an item in the dungeon, and like you would get your boomerang or something like that, or your bow and arrow, or bombs, or your hook shot, or something like that. And in this, they don't have dungeons in that way. They just like you'll get like these abilities which you can use at the very beginning of the game. You get like 4 or 5 of them, and that's pretty much all you get as far as like you're not really upgrading too much. Like you get different like outfits and stuff like that have different stats, and you'll use them in different ways. Like you'll get like an outfit that will keep you warm, so that if you go in snowy areas you won't freeze to death and that kind of thing.
Right.
And you have like different outfits that will let you go into like the volcano and that kind of thing, and yeah, it's like there's a lot of like just survival elements, but they're not too. It's not like overbearing with the survival elements. Some games like you'll have like hunger and stuff like that. It's not like that. You can eat, and there's like a cooking thing where you can kind of like boost your get your health back, and you boost your attack for a bit, and you get additional defense and that kind of thing as well. And there's so many different like enemies. It's actually tough. It's a tough game because especially at the beginning, because you go out there and you're expecting like Zelda for a long time. It's never been like a super hard game, right? It's not a game. It's just fun to play.
It's been about the adventure.
Yeah.
Right.
But this one is actually like if you're not ready, yeah, for sure. But if you're not ready, if you're not expecting it, like this game like can surprise you in a way, because it's also, I would say like the games that influence this game are probably some of my favorite games as well, which are Dark Souls and Shadow of the Colossus, and because it takes like some of the ideas of Dark Souls where the encounters are more like you have to dodge out of the way of an attack, and it gives you an opening so you can attack back and that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Breath of the Wild is my number 1.
Breath of the Wild number 1.
I love it.
We got Age of Empires, we got SmackDown, and we got Breath of the Wild, which is our number 1s. And then what was Amora's number 1? Did we
Amora's number 1 was Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia, which we all have to check out because that was a fun one. And then what was
Chelsea's number 1 is Journey.
And Chelsea's number 1 was Journey. So that was a great episode. We just got through 3 hours.
3 hours. We're that
2
far.
hours and 57
Jeez
minutes.
Louise.
Hey, that's Spitting M's Radio for you, guys. Hey, obviously you guys can come on and just listen to us in the background when you're working and whatever the hell you got to do.
Mhm.
These are long episodes, but these are fun episodes. It's just all about getting your mind off of the real world and enjoying yourself. Like, have a little bit of fun.
And if you have any additional, just post them in the comments and stuff like that. If you have your own list you want to share, post it in the comments, and we'll come and chat with you in the comments and stuff like that as well. We appreciate you tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share our content. This episode, we're doing this for fun, but also we want more people. We want more of a community.
Want our community. Yep.
We want a
our
community to kind of get bigger.
Exactly.
So share with your friends and that kind of thing. Have them share with their friends. You know, if we do this, we'll have like so many people watching and so many people to interact with, new friends.
Yep.
And that kind of thing.
And we'll have our community will grow, and that's all we want. That's all we can ask for. So we love you guys, and we appreciate you guys coming out and sticking with us through this. We're gonna end it now. If anybody else has got anything to say,
high five.
Yeah, I think we all need to high five. High five each other. All right, guys. Good night,
High
guys.
five to you guys.
We love you. High fives. Oh, high fives. Boom. Good night.